Hey everybody, GameHounds podcast. We are live. Hopefully this time we're actually live. Ugh. So Nick and I did 7 minutes of the show already. And it was only after I started to notice that AC Wraith isn't in the chat room and nobody's in the chat room that I realized that I had forgotten to put in destinations when I set up the stream. And with StreamYard, if you don't put in the destinations, even though you said do a live stream, if you don't identify the destinations, it starts to record, which is fine. But that means that Nick and I were not aware that we were not streaming when we were doing the first 7 minutes of the show. So we're back. We missed you. It's been a week. Nick DiNicola over there. Uh, Edie Sellers here. And Nick was in Florida.
Yes.
And I was in Concord, California, getting ready, disposing of a bunch of family stuff, getting ready for an auction. And we will do it again. I already leaked it to Nick during the, fake stream that we just did. I have an update on the turkeys. So let's start the show and we will update you.
Your homework.
Oh God, no. I forgot to oh God. It's all goofed up now. It's all goofed up. All right.
We stopped doing this for a week and just forget. I was joking before that I forget how to do this, but apparently I'm not the only one.
You're not the only one. All right. Now we can start the show.
This podcast discusses video games, pop culture, and technology, and these podcasters have big, fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom said to take out the trash and do your homework.
Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 819. We are recording this on May 17th, 2026. I'm Edie Sellers. With me is Nick DiNicola. All right, so update on the turkeys. Oh, the turkeys. So I was out at Concord doing all that stuff, going through all my family stuff, picking out the stuff that I wanted to keep or stuff that I didn't want sold, like my grandparents' old tax returns and stuff like that that I didn't want to, have out in the wild. And I was there and I noticed that there were a couple of box freezers in the corner that I said, "Are those being sold?" He goes, and my brother goes, "No, those are mine." I'm like, "Okay." And I realized all those Sub-Zero freezers that I bought that had the turkeys in them, they were nowhere. So I asked Ian, "Hey, where are all my freezers?" And he goes, "I sold them." I said, "Well, where's my money for the freezers?" And he goes, "I got it." He walks over to a box, opens it up, pulls out more than $1,000 and hands it to me. So the freezers are gone. And I said, "Well, where are the turkeys?" He goes, "Well, that's in the box freezers in the corner." I had to buy a couple of box freezers to put the turkeys in. And I said, "Ian, just get rid of the turkeys. Just throw them away. These are 3-year-old frozen turkeys. Just throw them away." And he's like, "No, they're good meat." And I'm like, "They're meat. They're not good meat. You need to get rid of those. There's a dumpster right there. Throw them out." And he's like, "Nope, nope. There's no way to know. You don't know that they're not good until you defrost one and cook one." And I'm not defrosting and cooking anything that old.
I feel
Hell no.
I thought that was a precursor to him defrosting and tasting one, but
Mm-mm.
apparently not.
No, no. Well, and he says he's going to. We shall see. But I'm not. As far as I am concerned, I have signed over. I used this phrase earlier. I've signed over my parental rights. I have abandoned the turkeys. They are no longer mine. So the saga, at least as far as we're concerned, of the frozen turkeys is over. They have been disposed of in sometimes the only way that I can do it. They're in the possession of my brother in a box freezer that I will probably, if he goes to the choir invisible before I do, I am going to be left with those frozen turkeys. I am going to be inheriting those frozen turkeys back, which is terrifying to me. But yeah, the frozen turkeys are still around, but they're not mine, and it's all over. As far as I'm concerned, this is the last frozen turkey story we will have on the show.
Well, whenever he defrosts them, I want to know what happens. I want to know if they're still edible.
Really? Do we need to continue the
Yeah.
updates on the frozen turkeys?
Yes.
All right. And we'll continue the updates on the frozen turkeys.
Okay. Well, I need a quarterly update.
Like a board of directors.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
How's the turkey update going?
But yeah, so that is over. That is done. The money I got back after 2 years from the sale of the freezers, I made a grand total of $90. Which
Better than nothing. Better than nothing.
no, well, true, better than losing, but I mean, it is for all intents and purposes nothing. Do me a favor, Nick. Do some math.
Oh.
How much a day? 2 years. If you get paid $90. Now, let me put this in perspective. I got paid less than the podcast makes when I say we have a Patreon, patreon.com/GameHounds. Thank you, AC Wraith. What do I always say? $1 a month is all we ask. That's 25 cents a show. Our shows are about 3 hours long. That's about 7 cents an hour. I'm wondering what makes more money, $1 a month for Patreon or what I made on those freezers.
So, okay. If you're $90 total over the course of 2 years, your hourly rate depends on how many hours you worked. Assuming a full-time schedule of 40 hours per week, 52 weeks a year, your hourly rate would be approximately 0.02 cents. Less than a penny. Oh yeah, and
a fifth of a penny.
Important consideration for AC
that
Wraith.
doesn't. Yeah, exactly. We paid way more to keep them running and to keep the turkeys frozen. So we did lose money on that. So yeah,
Okay.
a fifth of a penny.
No more impulse buying 4 giant freezers.
I figured I would make more money than that, but then again, I did not anticipate that it would take that long to sell them. And I'm sure I don't know how we ended up losing money on that because I got those freezers really cheap, which means my brother sold some of those freezers for dirt cheap. He sold them for less than what we paid.
Okay, hey, there's a bot in the chat that I kind of love.
Uh-huh.
Study the calendar with Tim and Charlene. Don't eat turkey, eat calendar. Go study the calendar with Tim and Charlene. Go to that webpage and behold the calendar from Revelation to Genesis, the whole New Testament. Yes, AC Ray. This is why said hi. I want to know about the calendar from Revelation and Genesis.
Oh my God. These are the things that company gave their entire company, the control of their company over to, all the code for their entire company over to something. This is why, as much as we say AI is a threat, it, we're not there yet.
Yeah, this is like an
can do.
AI, some sort of AI marketing for something Tim and Charlene are doing. I honestly don't know.
I don't know. I don't know who Tim and Charlene are, but their bot, I just want to mess with their bot. It sounds like, remember when they would release bots in the wild and then people would mess with them and they would turn them into racist neo-Nazis?
Yeah.
That's what that sounds like. It's like it sounds like it's just right on the verge. Right on the verge, and we could tip that thing over
Oops.
and make it insane. Oop.
It's selling something, but it wants to try to incorporate what people have been talking about. So it's like, okay, we're gonna sell a calendar from Tim and Charlene. How do we relate that to turkeys?
I don't. Yeah, that's so strange. Anyway, so what games have you played? Well, I can read. We're just gonna dive into it. I'm not gonna ask you what games you played.
Yes.
Did you play Windrose?
I did. I had a saga with Windrose. I
Really?
tried so hard to enjoy this game, but I think the game, and I don't know if this is early access or what, but it's just fundamentally broken on the Rogue Ally. So
Oh, that's entirely possible.
I played for a little bit, and you start on the island, and I'm running forward, I'm punching trees, punching rocks, building a base, and I get into combat, and I'm like, this combat is so fucking janky. Like, I just run up to something, let them hit me, and then I block. It's all found in the Bible under section 209. But I'm running around in Windrose, just doing the typical survival thing. But combat is so janky and so horrible. Like, generally, one of the worst feeling games I have played in a while. And eventually, I realized after like 20 minutes that I'm not locking on. I can't lock on to enemies. Every time I hit the right stick, every time I click that button,
Right.
it brings up a Steam menu instead of locking on to the character.
Oh, weird. Okay.
And so that sent me down a rabbit hole of like, okay, this is really annoying. How do I stop this from happening? Go into settings, go to Google to figure out what settings to turn off. And I successfully turned that off so that now clicking the right stick no longer brings up the Steam menu. Unfortunately, it also still no longer triggers lock on. So then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna, and this was like over the course of an hour, and then eventually I stopped, played something else, and it wasn't until Friday that because I knew if I play this game again, I'm just going to spend that time troubleshooting, not actually playing it, and so that really killed any desire to go back to it. But I thought for the podcast, I need to at least figure out what's going on. So I went back in there and I ended up switching around some controls so that I switched the stick buttons so that left click now locks on and right click should now sprint. After doing that, I could successfully lock on to enemies, but the right click input still did not register. And so I couldn't sprint anywhere. And so I played for 20 minutes, like fighting a boar and realizing, okay, this combat does feel a lot better now fighting this boar than it did before. But oh my God, not being able to sprint is just so.
Oh yeah.
To go out and then die and then respawn and just slowly run back there, fight the same boar, die, go back, slowly run, fight the same boar, die. I thought, okay, this is mind numbing. I can't do this. So that's about as far as I got because the either lock on or sprint weren't working. And I looked for other buttons to change, but the every button is kind of taken up by an important function. So it's not like I could just take one button and delist it. And unfortunately, the Rogue Ally has 2 back buttons. So it's got 2 extra buttons that I could configure, but for some reason, Steam Input doesn't recognize those as buttons on the Rogue Ally. So using Steam on the Rogue Ally, you can't use the back buttons. And so I had extra buttons that I could have used instead of right click, but Steam itself did not recognize them. So because of all the limitations of Steam, and I don't know, some bug with it. And it's not like the right stick was broken, because the right stick, the click, worked in other games. And when I turned the guide button back on, clicking the right stick brought up the Steam menu. So that functionality still worked. It wasn't a hardware problem. It wasn't broken. It was just the game for some reason didn't recognize that click. And so I played for a little bit, but I also played long enough to kind of realize, well, okay, these boars are really fucked up. Like, I think that
I told you, fuck pigs.
but like, I think the opening of the game is a little poorly balanced, because anything that's like that, if you're getting killed in one hit, like, come on. There's a kind of like, do you want me to play your game, or are you trying to get me to quit? Because when I run up and I fight a boar and I die, and then I run up and fight and die, then run up and fight and die, it's like, well, fuck this. Like, who's really wants to do this? This is just monotonous grinding. I don't want to do this. The combat felt fine, but at the end of the day, at least in like the 90 minutes I played, I did the typical survival game thing. I punched some trees, punched some rocks, built some stuff, punched some trees, built some stuff, punched some rocks, built some stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, it's a survival game, but it wasn't really anything more than that. It wasn't really an interesting world like Subnautica. It didn't have it had Souls light combat. And I will say now, Edie, this does control like Dark Souls.
Oh.
But and the developer themselves have said that it has Souls light combat, LITE. But I think what that translates to really is it's the controls where you lock on, and when you do, you can dodge. There's some stamina management. There's a heavy and light attack. It's got all the controls of a Souls game, but it doesn't have the combat philosophy of a Souls game. It doesn't have the enemy design of a Souls game. And those are the things that make a Souls game actually fun. And so to take the controls, but not the combat design, it's like, oh, I'm playing a pretty average survival game coupled with a kind of bad Souls-light game. And so a lot of my opinions are colored by the fact that I spent half my time troubleshooting, but then I also thought I don't really want to put in all the effort to get the game to work, because it didn't seem like I would enjoy it, even in the best case scenario.
Yeah, I can see that, and the fact that it does not work on the Rogue Ally is surprising, because I mean,
it says it has full controller support, and like all the other buttons worked. I don't know why it was just the right click.
That is very strange, because I've been playing it exclusively on this, and
On the Steam Deck?
on the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
And it is a little, I will say, it is a little clunky to play on the Steam Deck versus on a PC. Like a PC in controller, that works actually much, much better than a Steam Deck.
Oh, wait. AC Rate says you have to set up your back buttons per game profile in Armory Crate. Then when in game, make sure you're in the auto controller mode in the command center. Not for Windrose, but for the Rogue Ally in general. That's how you get the back buttons to work.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Right.
Well, see, now I gotta go back and do some more fucking troubleshooting because if I can get the fucking lock-on functionality, it's either one, just the
Yeah.
basic functionality. But that's good to
Yeah.
know. Thank you, AC.
And at the very least, I would like you to get it to a point where you can play it so we can play together. So you can join my world or I can join your world and we can play together because that does make a very, very big difference because you can share, stuff. It makes it, I mean, I've been holding off multiplayer simply because I'm waiting for you to play it.
Oh,
So
don't do that. You should go play because, like, look, I have to go and troubleshoot, and then I have to like psych myself up for that by also saying, "Hey, Nick, you're not gonna play Sorrows. You're gonna troubleshoot Windrose. Hey, Nick, you're not gonna play Crimson Desert. You're gonna troubleshoot. You're not going to watch the series finale of The Boys. You're gonna troubleshoot Windrose." And it's like that's what it's up against, right?
yeah, I get it. I get it. But
I will
I've
try to do that, if only because it would be nice to get the back buttons working.
right. And I've had very little problem playing it on a Steam Deck. It's
Yeah.
been absolutely brilliant on a Steam Deck. Um,
The moral of the
well, not
story.
absolutely brilliant. There are issues with it with naval combat that make it much more challenging compared to playing it with with a mouse and keyboard. Mouse and keyboard are the best way to play it, no
Mhm.
doubt. I have done that. I have played mouse and keyboard, and it is much much easier.
AC Wraith says, to be
PC.
fair, the final season of The Boys hasn't been great. I've been
Oh,
enjoying it. It's it's
the
it it's too real. It really is.
the
Yeah.
the mouse and keyboard is the optimal way to play it.
Yeah.
The next best way to play it is PC and controller. The third optimal way to play it is Steam Deck, but it all plays just fine. Obviously, the least optimal way is a Rogue Ally. But I did come across. I've played. How many hours have I played? I should start it up just to look to see how many hours have I actually played this game. I have played the crap out of this game on the Steam Deck.
Wow.
Um, oh, it was actually sleeping, so I need to go to. Let me back out of the game. Um, stand by. Come on, there we go. Exit to main menu. I've played the hell out of this game. Absolutely love it. Enjoying it. I haven't left the starting area because apparently you go to the next area where you encounter goats. Goats are assholes. But the there is an issue that I do want you to be aware of, and they had an update that was supposed to address it, and it hasn't addressed it. I have played 41 hours.
Jeez.
And almost all of it on this, which says something. The shut down, confirm. Here's the issue. Because I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I can play it on the Steam Deck while I'm at Chris's house or away or, wherever. And then if I'm at work, if I have a spare moment, I can play it on the PC. Or if I'm over here at the apartment, I can play it on the PC. There's some kind of issue with the naming convention, the way that the game files are saved on PC versus on Steam Deck, that they don't play nicely together. My first time I played, I put 5 or 6 hours into it. And then I brought it up on Steam Deck and it said, we cannot properly read this file. If you continue, that will be your latest file will be deleted. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I can lose a save. That's fine. And it just deleted the entire game. So I had to start over with a whole new character.
Oh.
You can go from Steam to the PC and you will only lose your last save. But if you go from PC to the Steam Deck, you will lose your whole game. Now, they had an update that was supposed to fix it. It did not. So now I had to say, all right, so what do I want to play it on? I want to play it. The PC is the best way to play it. But the Steam Deck is my most efficient way of playing it. Like, I will have more hours available if I play it on the Steam Deck. So I have been playing it 100% on the Steam Deck, even when I'm at my apartment, even when I have access to a PC. I'm playing it here because I don't want to lose it. Because, God, it is not an easy game, and it is much harder at the start of obviously where Nick is, where you are getting your ass handed to you by dodos. And
Actually, the dodos, I can. Once I got the lock on working, I
Yeah.
can fuck the dodos. Wait, no, let me rephrase that. I can fuck up the dodos.
Don't fuck a dodo.
But the boars are just bastards.
Oh, and those are the easy boars. They
And,
get
okay,
worse.
Okay, the only way I can upgrade my armor is by killing the boars.
Yeah.
Like, part of me thought, okay, I'm getting killed in one hit. I don't want to do this. This is bad. I need to upgrade my equipment. How do I do that? I fight the worst enemy on here. And not only that, but the boars are relatively rare. But I need 2 boar skins to upgrade 1 equipment, which means overall I need to kill 10 boars. I think
Oh
I've
no,
killed
they're not that
4.
rare. There's not that rare. And you
They
want
at
to go
least were for
you want to go
me.
for the sows. The sows are much easier than the boars. The boars are bastards. The sows are your early
I didn't even
ones.
notice a difference.
Oh yeah, the boars are much harder than the sows.
Okay.
And there's a weapon that is easily findable on your beach. Here's my best advice if you're struggling early on with Windrose. On your beach somewhere, you will see a question mark. Go to that question mark. You will find a wrecked ship with a chest on it, and inside should be a halberd. Halberds are your friends because, of course, you can keep them at a distance. You don't have to run up right next to them, and it becomes much easier to dodge. They are a little slower for a block, but they're much easier for dodging because you don't have to be right up next to them to be able to get something. And when you've got multiples coming at you, when you swing a halberd, it hits everybody. You're
Okay.
actually doing damage to all the mobs. Now, early on, you do not want to be taking on more than 1 mob at a time. It's a lot of hit and then take your lock off and run and kite them around, maybe take a potion or heal up, do something, and then do it again.
And
Do
see,
it
okay,
again.
and that I didn't notice that when fighting because, okay, I'm comparing this all to Souls games, but like
Right.
that's not what you do in a Souls game. Like a good Souls design is that, okay, I know the enemy's gonna attack me this way or that way. Once I learn those 2 moves, I know if I see them swing up, I'm gonna dodge the side. If I see them go like this, I'm gonna dodge backwards. And once you have that knowledge, defeating the enemy becomes easier. It's not it's hard, but it's a difficulty that you can overcome through knowledge of the enemy. This game is just, yo, these things hit you really hard. You can't overcome that with knowledge, and so you resort to really janky solutions like, I'm going to hit them, and then I'm going to run away. And then I'm going to hit them, and then I'm going to run away. But also, what's different is how blocking works. Because other Souls-like games, when you block, that takes your stamina down. In Windrose, you have specific blocking is like a different resource. You have shields.
No.
Then what do those
No.
shields do?
So, blocking doesn't use stamina, but blocking prevents you from gaining stamina, which is why you sometimes want to run away and then walk a little bit so you can gain
Yeah.
your stamina back.
But when you get
The
attacked, that
shields
takes
are
down your
something
shield.
called right. The shields are something called poise. And when you have poise, you can if you can take down poise on somebody else by doing a perfect block. That perfect block, you identify it because when it's instead of it just being a little crash, like a little spark, it's a
Mhm.
big spark. And you get that perfect block by blocking them just as they're about to hit you.
Okay, that makes
Blocking them
sense.
at the perfect time. As soon as they start to move, if you block, then you can get it.
Plus
What
bang.
that block does is it removes their poise. And when their poise is removed, then they're disabled somehow. They can't move. They are winded or they're frozen or they're just kind of stuck. And that happens a lot to you because your poise gets knocked down by not blocking and by not perfect blocking and also by being hit repeatedly. If you get hit repeatedly, it does take down your shields. So you gain your shields back by making a good block. You lose shields by not making a good
Well,
block.
you also gain them back by just waiting.
And right, and they do pop back if you have a little time. It's like stamina. Again, it's like stamina. It's a resource that also builds back up. So it is an important skill to learn early on is blocking. Dodging is obviously a good skill as well. But if you just dodge all the time, you're not going to do very well. Now, I will also say this is that knowing patterns of your enemies, that is not so much a thing on the small common mobs.
Mhm.
And you are compensated for that by when you die. If you do a damage to, you hit them a few times and you do damage, when you die, when you come back, they're not full health. Their health is
Yes.
exactly where you left it. So you can die, hit them a few times, die again, come back, hit them a few times more, die again, hit them a few times, and they die. So it is a strategy on these common mobs, especially these low level common mobs that you find on islands all over the area. The boss mobs, like I have yet to fight Richards, but I've certainly seen the Richards fight numerous times and numerous different people doing different techniques. Those are more like, okay, this is the strategy of him. You know he's
Okay.
going to do this because now you see a red flash and you know that that is an unstoppable and you've got to dodge. Or if you do a red flash, his red flash, or you see his arm come back and you know they're going to drop bombs. So you should just start running away as far as you can because he's about to drop cluster bombs. So the boss mobs are more like that. The common everyday mobs are as far as I can tell, they really don't have um a pattern to them. Sometimes they'll hit you
Because
once, sometimes they hit you twice in a row,
yeah,
and you
yeah,
don't know.
which is really annoying because when they hit me twice, I'm dead. Before it's like, okay, hit me once, then I can block the next hit, then I can hit them, then I block,
Mhm.
then I hit, then I block. But I block, then I hit, I block, and then oh shit, they hit me again, and now I'm dead.
Right.
It's
And you are in the
yeah.
earliest stages, which is by far the most challenging. You spend a lot of time running away and avoiding mobs. And the challenge is getting the resources you need to be able to build. But once you get those initial resources up and running, it becomes a lot easier. But still your basic mobs are still kind of a challenge. They're still kind of assholes. And so yeah, there is that souls like pattern attacks that you can learn, but
But
those
only
are
for bosses.
reserved for bosses who, when you fail, they do reset, as opposed to the common mob that doesn't really have that, but when you fail, they don't reset. So you can come back and finish the job.
Which
Uh,
eh, I know. On one hand, that sounds like, oh, it's good that they don't, their health doesn't reset. But also, again, that just feels like lower their health, man. Just rebalance that section of the game to lower their health. Like
yeah.
if the game is designed around the idea of go try to fight this, die, come back, die, come back, defeat it. I think you have a bad gameplay loop.
Well, as you get, this is also something that happens earlier on, and the more that you play,
Yes,
the
and
stronger you
that
get,
that's
the
my
less that it happens.
but
But
that's my point. Is this is my first experience with the game,
Yeah.
and I don't think you made a kind of good game. I think this is kind of bad. Do I want to continue? Not really.
yeah,
And so like when that's your first exposure to it, it doesn't matter how good the rest of the game is.
yeah. That mechanic of it actually takes down the health and you can come back and beat it really encouraged me. And
Mm.
as it has gotten farther into the game, there are times that I would have walked away from the game if I'd had to have done that whole fight over. It was a couple of times where it was ships that I needed to take down. I needed to sink a few ships. And just because of the nature of me Chris was talking to me and then he was pulling on the bed underneath me and he was like, yeah. And it was like, leave me alone. I'm trying to fight this. I got to the stage where I'm boarding it and I jump on and I end up dying on the ship in mid boarding. And it's like, motherfucker, if I have to sail back out there, because I just use my little dinghy to go back out.
Mhm.
If I had to sail back out there and fight that ship all over again, which was hard, and also I used a lot of heals on my ship just to get it to where it was. And then I have to do the whole reboarding again, I would have left. But as it was, when I got back there, there's my ship still attached. And all I had to do is jump back on, get behind the wheel, and hit board again, and all my guys ran off into it and started
Okay.
again. So the fact that you can fail and it kind of freezes time just a little bit really kept me from walking away. And every other game that I have played that is like this, in something like that, it does reset the fight.
Yeah.
The fact they don't reset it is the thing that keeps me coming back to it. If there were more difficult games like that, I would, especially if there were an option to have that, I would absolutely be playing more of these more difficult games because I don't have a problem with dying. I have a problem with on the precipice of success. And I am like a microsecond away from beating this very difficult boss or doing this very difficult thing that took me a long time to get to this point. And maybe there were some lucky breaks that got me to this point. And I'm literally die just as I make the connection to hit him so he dies. And then I have to start it all over again. That's when I go, yeah, no, I'm done. I can't do this. I cannot sail all the way back out there, run this gauntlet of ships just to get to the ship that I need to sink,
Mhm.
take down both of the gunboats first, and then take down the big ship while everything is fighting on me, hoping that none of the other surrounding ships in the waters I get close enough in this pitched battle to draw them in and essentially aggro them and draw them in so that they join the fight when they were never supposed to. If I'd have had to do that over and over again every time that I failed, no, no. Mm-mm. So I'm I'm happy that the way that they designed that it is difficult combat, but it is not unforgiving combat. It doesn't
Okay.
go, "Ha ha, you fucked up, start over." So I'm that's one of the reasons why I'm still playing it and why I'm because this is not, you know me, I'm not a Souls like. I'm not a Souls anything. Souls like, Souls light, no Souls. I am an
No, but
anti-Souls player.
you're a survival person.
I am a survival person.
Yeah.
And have no problem with a first person shooter. I have no problem with combat, but this game has just talk about running a gauntlet. threaded the needle, in just a way that it is very challenging for me, and yet it's just got enough encouragement of like, we don't hate you. We just want you to try a
That's
little harder.
good. That's good.
Yeah. And I'm absolutely I am familiar with the story at this point because I have watched so many streams and so many feeds of people playing this, so I know what I'm going to encounter.
Mm,
In the next section, I less know what I'm going to encounter, but it's it's a I love the idea that I can also do multiplayer because I think that as a multiplayer game, this is going to be a lot of fun, especially with the sailing part. And the sailing is very, very gratifying in the way that Black Flag sailing feature was very gratifying.
yeah, I mean that's what initially put it on my radar was, oh
Mhm.
hey, that this game finally did the Black Flag thing that Ubisoft has been trying to do since Black Flag.
Right. Well, that they didn't no, that's the thing. They didn't try to do it. They haven't tried to do it.
Well,
We've
they they
asked them to do it. We've begged them to do it. They didn't do it. So
wait,
somebody else did.
they tried for a year with Skull and Bones, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah. Well, they weren't committed. All they had to do was just release a game of that mechanic. That's all they had to do, and they knew it, but they didn't wanna make a pirate game. The tech bros didn't wanna make a pirate game. They flat out said they didn't wanna make a pirate game. That's a known thing. So they sabotaged it. But this game very much tickles that itch. And I wish that that bug wasn't there so that I could enjoy playing it on the PC with a controller when I had the opportunity to, because it is a superior experience. But it is early access. This is not the finished product. There's bugs. There's
Which
obviously bugs with the Rogue Ally.
which
That
also as I was going through all this troubleshooting, part of me was just like, why the fuck do I play an early access game? I
yeah,
never play an early access game. This is terrible. And then of course Subnautica 2 came out, so
right,
fuck it.
right. And we will talk about Subnautica too, because
Yeah.
I'm very tempted about that as well. But I kind of don't want to get off of Windrose because I'm kind of
Yeah, you're
I
in it.
know that yeah, I'm in it. I'm deep in it. It's
Yeah.
it's it's gripped me like I haven't had a game grip me like this in a really long time where all I'm doing is trying to figure out if I can go to the bathroom reasonably at work long enough and sneak in the Steam Deck so that I could play a few minutes. So, um, yeah, it's a I'm
I was like,
super,
Edie,
super happy getting
are
it.
you okay? You've been in there an
If
hour.
it
Oh fuck, it's been an hour?
Yeah, that's why I haven't taken it into the bathroom at work, because I know that that's what this is not a game that you can sit down and play a half hour.
Mm-hmm.
It's a, it's a, at least an hour and, uh, sometimes more, like, you look down and you go, "Oh," or you look up and you go, "Oh shit, it's dark." I just wanted to play a little bit before work, and I've now missed work. So, yeah, be very careful of this game because it is if you get past the initial issues, or if you don't experience the bugs that kind of break the game like it did for Nick, if you have a very streamlined entry into it, it'll eat you. It'll eat your life very easily. So what other games did you play?
I played a game that I wasn't sure about, but I've heard about it on some podcasts, and everyone is just like, "You can't describe this game. It's like the Matrix. No one can be told what this game is. You have to see it for yourself."
Mhm.
So curiosity got the better of me, and I bought it. Titanium Court is like slowly working its way up my my personal top 10 list. It's like,
Really?
oh, at first it's like, oh, this is fun, this is cool. But then I keep thinking about it. And it's like, oh no, it's actually better than this. Oh, it's actually good. Titanium Court is a narrative-driven roguelike match 3 tower defense game. It is a crazy combination of mechanics and genres. And it's all presented almost as like this stage play where the whole beginning of the game is like this narrator going, hey, is everyone in the crowd ready? Well, okay, good. Now that you're ready, we're going to put on the play, but the lead actress, she's not here. So we just picked someone to do her role. And guess what? The story isn't done yet. So this is a race. Will the writers finish writing the story by the time we get there? I don't know. Let's find out. Go. All the writing is exceptional. This it's a absurd game. Like, it's a really funny game that constantly makes fun of itself. The premise is that you're an average person who finds themselves in the Titanium Court. And the Titanium Court is this weird castle that kind of floats through the either world, just floats through the universe or something, getting into fights with other castles. And this is the war. Every day, the Titanium Court goes to war with a dragon, with a goat. Speaking of goats, and if you lose,
Goats are
then
assholes.
you go back to the beginning. If you win, hey, you get a nightly victory. But every day you go to war. But all of the characters in the court are really well developed. And they're constantly piping up with because you're apparently the fairy queen. And everyone's like, hey, guess what? You're the queen. Tell us what to do. And you're like, what? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. There's even a whole little diversion where they say, because there's a lot of walking around the court and talking to people. And that's where a lot of the absurdist humor comes from. And so at one point you're saying, so, okay, has your monarch, can I create like a democracy so that you can elect someone else? Because I don't want to do this. And all the people go, oh yeah, that's a great idea, but we're just going to elect you instead. And you're like, well, fuck. Okay, so I can't get out of this because if I make an election, you're just going to elect me. And then you'll elect to get rid of elections and just elect me as monarch. And then we're just back at square one. But it reminds me a lot of Terry Pratchett, the guy. He didn't do Discworld. What was his
Ringworld?
Ringworld. The way that he writes really absurd scenarios, but finds like a real nuanced truth of like human nature within that absurdity. And so you're just kind of reading and laughing and going like, ah, this is goofy. And then he like hits you with this really nuanced take on human existence. And you're like, oh shit. That's deep. That like hit me. And there are multiple moments like that in this game. And at one point, you're told that in order to get out, in order to go home, you have to change yourself as a person. It's like, okay, how do I change myself as a person? Well, the fastest way to do that is to take a love potion. But I don't want to take a love potion and become obsessed with someone. Oh, no, that's fine. Here's a minor love potion that would just make you like baseball slightly more. And I thought of you when this came up because there's a whole thing about how this love potion will make you like baseball slightly more than you do now. And it's like, it's such a goofy little premise. But then when you take the potion, it goes on this long description about how before you used to have these intrusive thoughts and they weren't ever anything that you would act on, but you just kind of always thought these violent, intrusive thoughts, right? Of, oh, I'm walking down the street. What happens if I just got hit by a car? And it was never like I want to throw myself in front of the car. And it was never a desire for that. It was just this constant hum of like, what's the worst thing that could happen? And now those violent, intrusive thoughts are replaced by baseball. They're replaced by the swing of the bat, the mitt, the stretching of muscles. And your character describes how it feels like this real weight has been lifted. Well, all of a sudden, these intrusive thoughts are about something I like rather than something violent, and how that has like genuinely uplifted their person. And so you have this really goofy premise of, oh yeah, it's a love potion that makes you like baseball, but just a little bit more. And then it changes that into, no, this actually does change you as a person and like improve your psychological well-being. It's like, oh, well, shit. Now, like, that's awesome. This is all the writing. This is like one of the most text-heavy, writing-heavy games I played in a while. Because I haven't even talked about the mechanics yet. But I think what's great about this game is every single time you go through the roguelike loop, it introduces something new. So the actual gameplay is like I said, roguelike match 3 tower defense.
AC Ray said, does Edie like baseball or just hate certain teams? I like baseball. I'm a season ticket holder and have been since my 20s. So I love baseball. I also hate a team.
You can't hate a team that much unless you love baseball.
True.
But yeah, the gameplay. Every time when the war begins, you begin like a typical roguelike adventure of, I'm going to fight a series of battles to get to a boss fight. Those series of battles begin as a match 3 game. And you can, in the video, can skip ahead, just look for a grid. Like if you see a match 3 grid, okay, that's the map. That kind of tells you what you will experience. And here's the grid. It's a match 3 game, and you have a number of moves that you can do. If you match 3 wheat, you get wheat. If you match 3 water, you get water. If you match 3 rocks, you get rocks. 3 forest, you get wood. And so you can use that to collect resources, but you can also use that for positioning, because whatever this grid looks like when you run out of turns, that's the battlefield that you will now play tower defense on. And so in this case, in this video, the player isn't actually matching 3 that much. They're just moving their castle around, and you can see they're positioned around rocks. They're surrounded by rocks, which means any enemies that come at them will have to cross those rocks, so they'll be at a disadvantage. So they've spent the match 3 positioning their castle for safety, basically. But once the battle begins, you then use the resources you've collected to create units. Maybe those are farming units that can then earn more resources, or they're aggressive units that can go out and fight. If you destroy other people's buildings, you get money, which you can then buy upgrades for. The resources, it all kind of snowballs. And so at certain points, you might have 50 wood, but 10 of everything else. And so then you kind of have to figure out how to balance all of that, because maybe in one battle, you generate a lot of carpenters to collect wood. In the next battle, you generate a bunch of miners to collect stone. And so you can kind of, depending on what the battlefield looks like, that will determine how you spend your resources to collect and fight. But that's just like the first time you play the game. Because after like 2 rounds of this, I thought, okay, this is a cool idea. But I did it twice. I don't know if I want to do it again. Then they threw in a whole twist where you can change jobs. And so instead of being a monarch that, I get people and I spend resources and all that. I'm a nihilist. And my goal is to just fucking burn everything down. As a nihilist, your base is immune to fire, and one of your abilities is to start fires and literally burn the world down. And so now, when I go into these battles, it completely changes how I think about the battlefield, because now, oh, I want to avoid the maps with water and rock because those don't catch fire. I
Right.
want wood. I want fields. Oh, there's an octopus has a boss. There's a goats has a boss, or there's a dragon has a boss. Well, if I'm immune to fire, that dragon can't hurt me as much. So I wanna fight the dragon as the nihilist. And so has that job, it completely upends the mechanics and completely changes how you approach each battle. And then after like another series of absurd situations where I encountered an MBA cult of business, and I sent one of my people to join the cult, and he came back and gave me a new job as a businessman. And so now with that, I don't actually collect resources. I can collect a bunch of one resource, but then I can sell that resource to get money to buy other resources. So now the match 3 is like practically pointless because I'm not collecting any resources. I'm just getting all the resources through money and business means. So again, completely upends how you approach the game. And the game keeps like throwing out these twists. There's a whole mirror world that is a whole other type of game. And from what I've heard people talk about on podcasts, a lot of this kind of comes up randomly. People have talked about an egg. Like, oh, have you gotten the egg? Have you gotten the football to the end zone? And it's like, wait, I don't know. What football are you talking about? What egg are you talking about? I haven't seen an egg. And so I've seen the egg, but I haven't completed the egg mission because as you go through all of this, you keep getting other little challenges. And I think that's what also has latched me onto it, because you get a whole bunch of challenges, a whole bunch of things you want to do. And so every time you start a run, you have this little thing in the back of your head of, oh, these are the number of challenges I can complete. Let me try to do one. So it's not just, I want to beat the game. It's, oh, I want to beat the game in this way. I don't want to kill the dragon. I want to economically dominate the dragon. Whatever that means. I don't actually know how to achieve an economic victory over a dragon, but it is possible. And what's also nice, that little wine glass,
Mm-hmm.
every time you do a run, that wine glass level goes up. And that
Mhm.
is your comfort level. And as you play more and your comfort level goes up, you can modify the game with little things that make it easier. Maybe you start with more resources, maybe store prices are lower. But at this point, I'm at comfort level 3. And so that means I can make the game easier, which does make me want to go through the loops again and again. But also, there's a whole other system where if you achieve victory, you get a different type of conversations. If you die, you just immediately wake up the next day. But if you achieve victory, everyone celebrates at night. So you get to explore the castle at night. Well, if you do some other stuff, you can just skip the whole fighting and go to the night. And so you don't have to actually play the game to get all of the narrative that comes from the night sections.
Mhm.
And so the game keeps kind of introducing these mechanics and then introducing other mechanics that either change or nullify those previous mechanics. It's like, what do you want to do? We kind
But
of give you the freedom
not
to
in
do
a
everything.
not in an annoying way.
No, not
It's
in an annoying way, because I still
yeah,
have to go through the battle to get all of the things associated with the battle. But if I
right.
just want those narrative moments associated with nighttime, I don't have to achieve victory to do that. I can just skip there and continue the narrative because, like I said before, the writing is so good. I love just wandering around and talking with people because they're all like they're all absurd, but also like subtly nuanced and thoughtful. And it's like, oh wow, you made a really good point about humanity. Goofy game about castles and fairies and dragons. Oh, it
Are
is
you playing it on the Rogue
shockingly
Ally?
good. I am playing it on the Rogue Ally.
Okay, so and it's on Steam.
Yeah, it's on Steam.
Okay.
It's a absolutely bizarre game, but so fucking cool.
Nice. So we have news. Do you want to head on over to news?
Yes.
All right. So let me get where I need to be for. They've moved all of our stuff around now. Everything's different. I love
Everything is
StreamYard, but they
different now.
keep messing with it and adding things. Don't get me wrong, the stuff they add is cool, but it keeps changing the interface. All right, so let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds news, the news, views, and commentary of the week in gaming with Gameriti and Nick DiNicola. And our first item is
you had a bunch of ones that I was going to talk about, but let's
talk about the big one.
Subnautica.
No.
Is it not the big
Xbox!
one? Oh,
We're not yelling! Officially, we have to now call Xbox. We can't just talk about it. We have to yell it!
Xbox!
Xbox! So, if you haven't heard, Asha Sharma, the new head of Xbox, is addressing super important issues, as she promised, super important issues to gamers. What did she quote it? What did she said? She originally said, she said something like, this is gonna, I'm gonna address the important things to gamers and make big changes deeper in the areas that matter most. And her first issue that she chid was she changed Xbox from capital X lowercase BOX to all caps. This is now the new thing, Xbox. I'm not quite sure. I mean, it's a rebranding.
Well,
It's
part
a
of me
stunt.
feels like, didn't it
I
used
feel
to be
bad for the
that
guy that's
way?
got to go back into everything on their website and everything that they've ever done and change it to all caps, which kind of sucks that some poor schmuck has to do that. But
like I thought that I kind of thought that was always the case.
what?
And that the official writing is all caps. Because if you look at the Xbox One logo, it's all caps.
Right.
But the thing is, like, people just don't type like that.
No.
So I didn't know that this was an official thing. Okay, I guess it is. Sure.
I just think it's stupid. I think it's stupid to address it. I think it's also stupid to all caps it. It's just dumb. Because that's not how people type. And you're now forcing people that when they're talking about Xbox to caps lock it. It just
But like if you look at the logo, it's always all caps.
Yeah.
So again, like, I thought that this was always the case.
It just seems like it's going to make it like every time you're talking about Xbox, it looks like you're yelling.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So I will say, for the most part, I was just like, wait, I thought this was always the case. But another part of me makes me very deeply suspicious because this feels like you're just trying to get the past 6 months. No, not 6 months. When did Asha take over? It was earlier this year, right?
Yeah, like a month ago.
Jesus Christ. No, it wasn't a month ago.
It was like a month and a half ago. It wasn't that long.
It cannot have been a month ago. Time with SHRMA, Microsoft, February 23rd. Okay, so end of February. So it's been a couple months.
Yeah.
I feel like she has spent the past couple months making minor changes to Xbox's business to like keep Xbox in the headlines, right? Oh, new CEO,
Yeah.
we're going to do this. We're going to
Yeah.
change this. We're
Yep.
listening to you. We're
Yep.
getting rid of Call of Duty, lowering
Yep.
Game Pass, but also all these little stories about how she's listening to people. And she wants to bring the core gamer back. But this, because you're right, this is stupid. But it's so stupid that it feels like their list of, okay, what news stories can we generate to get positive Xbox headlines? They're scratching the bottom of the barrel. And now that gets me wondering, okay, if we're getting to the bottom of the barrel, we must be getting to the part where why are you trying to generate all this good buzz? What are you going to do that requires you to have a surplus of goodwill so that you can do something that spends all that goodwill? And I'm like, what the fuck are
That's
we
an
doing?
interesting thought.
What are you
Yeah.
planning? Like, you've spent all this time, oh, we're listening to you, we're changing the logo, we're bringing back the Xbox
We're
green.
changing Game Pass to make it cheaper.
Yeah, all this stuff. But it's like, again, like I've said before, they're minor changes. They're nothing substantial. Project Helix is what it is under Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer that it is under Asha Sharma. Like, the philosophy of that console has not changed. It is what it has been. She didn't come in with the idea of Project Helix. But like, what are they planning to do? And it feels like we're getting to the point where that other shoe will drop, because like I said, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel of positive news stories. Or,
Could
or,
it
or maybe they're just scraping the bottom of the barrel of positive news stories, and that's it.
could it be that they've announced we know they're working on Project Helix, but it's not been announced officially. Do you think that it could be an announcement and it's not going to make people happy?
Absolutely. It totally could be, hey, we're announcing Project Helix and it's $1,500. Like, that would absolutely be a way to spend all that
They would
goodwill.
announce Project Helix. I don't know that they would announce a price right off the bat because it's obviously Project Helix is at least a year out.
Yes. Yeah, you're right. They wouldn't
And
announce a.
there's no way to know what prices are going to be in a year, which is insane. I don't know how anyone is in the manufacturing business right now, but
Yeah.
there you go.
But yeah, I don't know.
Um,
And part of this could just be that Asha came in with a mandate of, hey, let's create good buzz, and worked with PR people to create a list of news stories that would generate good buzz. And now they're just
or
scraping the
good
bottom
and
of that.
or neutral buzz,
Yeah.
not bad buzz.
Yeah. Because
That's what this is.
so much of Microsoft has been about bad buzz. And so she comes in and says, "Hey, I want to change the narrative. Let's talk about positive things. Even if they're all minor, let's just get good stories out there." There
If
doesn't have to be an ulterior motive to it.
Well, if that is the case, then she has made a very bad calculation on what would be good and or neutral buzz, because this has been widely mocked across social media.
It has, but it's
And
also like
let
the
me
first
let me just
thing that's
read
been
let me
widely
just
mocked.
read the beginning, the start of the Kotaku article about this, giving you an idea of how this is hitting the gamerverse. You know, it's always been my dream to cover the big news. Today, I'm not bringing you the big news, but I sure am bringing you the big news because Asha Sharma, the CEO of Xbox, more on that shortly, has announced something huge. Sorry, huge in a post on X. Xbox is now Xbox. Guess guess she wasn't kidding about going deeper in areas that matter most. It is it is it is being ridiculed mercilessly in social media, and even the press is kind of like, really? Like it's just being mocked.
But
And that's, I don't think, is, if for any reason, what they wanted. And if this is an effort to scrape the bottom of the barrel of putting Xbox in the news to generate positive feelings that, a capital that you will spend later, they really haven't. It it's made them look it's made Asha Sharma look like she's faffing about.
see, I don't know if I would go that far with it because, okay, first of all, Kotaku's a snarky website. That's one of the reasons I enjoy
But
it.
it's one of the
It's
snarkiest
snarky.
articles. It had enough snark in it that it made me laugh multiple
Oh,
times.
yes, which is like as it should. But
Right.
I also feel like a lot of the mocking it's not mean in nature. It's like, well, this is kind of dumb. Like, let's make fun of it, but it's
It's
not like
coming
punching
no,
it down.
it's
It's coming from a place of positivity rather than a place of negativity. It's not like, boy, look at how Xbox fucked things up again. It's oh, look at this funny thing Xbox did. And those are two like very different tones. And
that's not how I'm reading all of
no,
the ridicule. No, it's
I
more
I
like,
I do not read
really?
it. I don't read it as like that negative.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
more a
reading it
goofy thing than it is a fuck up.
I'm reading
And I
it
think they
more of
want goofy
like, they're
things.
not angry about it, but they're like,
No,
shouldn't
because
you
why
be
would you be
working
angry?
on other things, Asha? You got a lot of things going on at Xbox. You're wasting your time on this? It is it is adding questions to whether Asha Sharma actually has a handle on her gaming division and what needs to happen in order to return Xbox to relevancy.
You see, I don't think it's that far because it's not that big of a deal.
It's
This
a
this
bit like
does this does
rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic, to use
but
a
this
very old phrase.
but this does not substantially take away her time from anything else. Like
But it makes you go,
that
why are you using
criticism
your resources, your time, your employees' time to do this?
because
This?
this is not a big use of those times.
The
And
poor guy that has to go through and change Xbox on every part of the Microsoft website. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm
no,
sure
that's
he
not
actually is a little concerned about that.
no, that's actually not that big of a deal. That's easy enough to do. You just control F, control V,
Just get
enter it, you're
Copilot to
done.
do it.
Exactly. Get Copilot can do it.
This is actually one of the use cases where it could work.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. Part of me is just like this is dumb and goofy, and I could accept it as they are kind of running out of ideas for easy positive headlines, and
Mhm.
now they're getting into the brass tacks of how are we going to turn this whole boat around. Or, like I said, or they're trying to create a lot of positive buzz because when they announce something, they know they're going to spend that capital. We got to get people excited for Xbox so that when we do fuck things up, they're not as angry. There's a
I think it's gonna go the
and I
opposite
admit,
way.
that my conspiracy theory hat is absolutely a conspiracy theory. That the truth is probably just no, we wanted some good headlines on Xbox for once. What are easy good headlines we can do?
I think that if they come out with something that if it is that they're coming out with something that they know that they would have to be spending on the goodwill capital that they have already gathered, all this is going to make it look like even more incompetence, even more that it's like
No, see, I
you are completely
disagree.
out of touch with
I
what's important
disagree.
here.
I think that because of the past couple months, if they come out and announce Project Helix is going to be driven by AI. Like it's driven by AI in the code, driven by AI on the on the interface, all of it's AI driven. People are going to go, I don't know, man, that seems kind of fucked up, but okay, show me. Like I like what Asha's done so far. Let's see what she can do.
No, I don't think anybody's going to look at that after this and go, I like what
I think
Asha's.
a lot of people will. I absolutely think a lot of people will.
AC Ray says Asha saw capitalization on someone else's business card, Patrick Bateman, American Psycho style.
Oh wait,
Oh,
now
hey. Speaking of totally off topic, but it is something that the 14-year-old noticed, and it is, I may be sending you down a rabbit hole, but I don't even see it being talked about on Reddit. So I went to go see a movie yesterday, God is God. Great movie.
Is God is?
Is God, sorry, what did I say?
Okay. God is? I don't know. I've heard about that one though.
Yeah, is God, yeah, is God is. It is excellent movie. Excellent movie. But there's a lot of music in it. And the 14-year-old was like, some of these songs are pretty good. So she went and looked up the soundtrack, and there are 2 tracks on that she goes, it's AI. It's AI music. It's got to be AI music.
Oh.
It's the byline, the name on it, the artist is named Tizzy Tay. Tizzie space Tae, I think it is. Tizzy Tay. And when you go to Tizzy Tay's Spotify page, there's only 10 followers and there's only 2 songs, and it's those 2 songs. And she's like, it looks just like an AI bot. This is what AI bots look like on Spotify. They use AI music in this, and nobody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about what a great soundtrack it is, but nobody's talking about these 2 songs. And it looks like, according to her, who would absolutely know because she is huge on Spotify, she's like, she got invited to a listening party for, I want to say, ESPA in Korea because she is in their top 100 listeners on Spotify.
Oh geez.
The girl knows music. The girl absolutely knows music. And she's like, trust me, this is AI generated music in this movie. It's AI generated. It's got to be. And if she says it, she knows. When she can spot it at 50 meters. She knows. So here is, if you want your conspiracy theory, if you want to go down a rabbit hole, look up Is God Is. There's 2 songs on it from Tizzy Tay.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up Tizzy Tay.
It's nowhere. There is no page. There's no nothing. It is only
there's a
on
bunch
Spotify.
There's a bunch of Instagram pages, but they're all like 0 posts, couple followers.
Yeah,
just
no,
like
there's
random people.
yeah, no, there's lots of Tizzy Tays, but it's not the Tizzy Tay artist that made those 2 songs because Tizzy Tay doesn't exist, according to Claire. Tizzy Tay is an AI bot. Forget Your Life said went to go see Sheep Detective. I did not. I have not seen Sheep Detective. They went without me.
I have
Unfortunately, so I've
heard
seen it.
that
I've
Sheep
heard it's good.
Detectives is a goddamn masterpiece.
That's what I've heard.
So yeah, Forget Your Life. I think you made the right decision. I do want to see Sheep Detectives.
Yeah, Is God is if a Quentin Tarantino movie was written by a Black woman. And it feels like a stage play, and it is. It's a play that's adapted to a movie. It feels like it is a stage play. It's written like a stage play. But oh, is it good? Oh, is it good? And the performances are fantastic.
I saw Mortal Kombat 2.
Ew.
It's good, goofy fun.
Yeah. But yeah, if anybody wants to spend several hours of your life going down that rabbit hole of exposing Tizzy Tay as a bot, might be fun. Hatsune Miku has a lot of competition these days. I don't know what. So, Who is Hatsune Miku?
She's the AI pop star.
Oh,
But
right.
but she was like the AI pop star before AI became AI.
Right, right. Um, moving on, let's move on to the other big story about questionable business decisions, goofy business decisions. So you remember last time we talked 2 weeks ago that the CEO of GameStop had made an offer
Oh
to buy
yes.
eBay, and we were like, how is this is the math ain't math in here. Well, he the math is definitely not mathing, and he has had an interview, one particular interview, where it was clear that the he thinks the maths, but he has no idea. It was just an absolute bonkers interview where it was very clear that this is not credible. Well, eBay has its board of directors, and he said that if the board of directors don't do it, he will take it to stock shareholders and try and do it through shareholders. We will see if he does that. But eBay, the board of directors of eBay issued a release calling saying that no, there it's a big fat nope from them. So CNBC reported that eBay's board wrote Ryan Cohen, the CEO of GameStop, on Tuesday, March 12th, to make clear its categorical rejection of these. And I'm reading this out of Kotaku. Categorical rejection of the silly man's ridiculous attempt to buy a company 5 times larger than his own with borrowed money and bad math.
Okay,
A letter
that's Kotaku, not the rejection letter.
No. A letter signed by eBay's chairman of the board of directors, Paul S. Pressler, calls his offer, quote, neither credible nor attractive. So here is what they actually did right. We have taken into account such factors as 1, eBay's standalone prospects, 2, the uncertainty regarding your financial proposal, 3, the impact of your proposal on eBay's long-term growth and profitability, 4, the leverage, operational risks, and leadership structure of a combined entity, 5, the resulting implications of these factors on valuation, and 6, GameStop's governance and executive incentives. And essentially said that no, they are not doing it. Do I have another quote from it? Uh, the letter calls eBay itself a strong, resilient business that has delivered meaningful results over the past several years. And it's confident that the company, under its current management team, is well positioned to continue to drive sustainable growth, execute with discipline, and deliver long-term value for our shareholders. So, yeah, it's it's a big ol' talk about yelling it. They didn't just say nope, they said, "Nope!" All caps. Now, Cohen has said that he would be taking an offer of $125 a share to the eBay shareholders. But this is not a $125 in cash.
Half cash,
This
half stock.
half cash, half stock. So $65 worth of cash and questionable stock
Yeah,
if
it's
they want it.
half cash, half stock, except it's half cash and wait, there's not half stock.
Right.
How with the math doesn't math. How do you do
Math
that?
doesn't math.
And all the talk has been, well, he could issue a whole bunch of more GameStop shares to make up that deficit, but then that will dilute
Devalue
uh
GameStop.
yeah, devalue GameStop. Or he's asking eBay shareholders to basically fund that themselves, which will then devalue eBay stock.
hmm Now, he did go on to, speaking of eBay, he did go on to sell, and this has actually caught a lot of attention. So, Game Informer, the former news outlet, the magazine that GameStop put out for many, many years and shut down not too long ago. Over the years, they had amassed a lot of stuff, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of collectible items from Game Informer that were given to Game Informer or that they had in their offices, etc. Ryan went to eBay and put a lot of these things on eBay to sell, like rare Pokemon cards and figurines and a bunch of other stuff that he explicitly said, buy this so it can help me use the money. I will use this money to help me buy games, eBay. Help me fund eBay by buying this. And of course, the stock bros all went on and paid ludicrous amounts of money for it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Apparently, I have poked the dragon with something I have said. So, yeah,
I did also
go to the link in any of the former emails that I sent you. Just come on in.
I did also see
Anytime.
that he a couple days ago he was on Piers Morgan calling the eBay board of directors a bunch of losers, quote, a bunch of losers, and said that he'll take his offer directly to shareholders,
Yeah.
which, like, that's not a threat if you don't have the money.
Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't have the money. And honestly, I do think that there is a questionable, like sometimes shareholders are greedy. Shareholders want money and
absolutely.
they don't care. I think in this case, this is so wildly stupid that I think even shareholders might reject this.
Well, because if you look at GameStop's history and you look at eBay's history, you can see that one has shrunk and one has grown. And you don't want Ryan Cohen running eBay because whatever value your stock was at will likely go down.
Mm-hmm. Andrew?
Hello.
Hey. Everyone's back today.
Yeah. Are you just joining us for fun, or did I say something that upset you?
Oh no, just for fun. Although maybe
okay.
I literally just hopped in.
Oh.
Maybe I missed this, but I did have a question. What are your guys' opinion? Obviously, he was trying to trade Half-Life and GameStop stock, GameStop stock, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, wouldn't that just devalue GameStop stock in that
Yes.
the CEO is trying to pick up work at a different company? Clearly, like, this should show that he is moving his attention away from GameStop. So if they
Yes.
accepted that offer, immediately that GameStop stock would be worth less.
Well, what it would do is it would merge GameStop with eBay. And they would
Sure.
probably rebrand GameStop as eBay. But the stock would probably be in this joint company. So
Okay.
we'll give you twice the amount of stock that you have. If you have one share, we will give you half money and half and a half share of
But the
this new
problem,
company. So you would have 1.5 shares in this company.
but the problem
And
is
yes, it
that
would dilute the value of that company.
that new company is then suddenly saddled with what, 10 billion in debt?
Debt. A lot of debt.
So you go from eBay not having debt to new eBay having 10 billion in debt.
Yeah. And if you say, Andrew, you very astutely point out that his attention is now no longer on GameStop. He recently told Business Insider, quote, "I do not want to be the CEO of GameStop. I want to be the CEO of eBay. I'm passionate about eBay. I wasn't passionate about GameStop."
So yeah, that immediately, like, obviously, like, the financial institutions are incredibly dumb, and I don't understand how the vibes work there, because it's all vibes.
Well,
But to
GameStop
me,
especially is like now all vibes based.
But to me, that would immediately devalue the usefulness of that GameStop stock that you just used to buy it.
Right. And for those shareholders, they have to look.
I mean,
Sorry,
also
spam.
like the
They-
GameStop stock has gone down consistently over the past 5 days.
Right. And they are going to look, they have to say, all right, for every share that I get, I will have 1.5 shares and $65 of cash, right? Which is what he's offering. That new company, if he were to take over, the stock would plummet instantly, because GameStop is now no longer worth what it was as far as the stock is concerned, because he'd essentially be issuing 50% more stock than what there's already out there. And he's not competent to run eBay. He's not competent to run eBay. The board of directors know that he's not competent to run eBay. Everybody knows he is a chucklehead, and everybody knows that he's a chucklehead. And I'm hoping that the investors know that they could have one share of stock in a company that is worth X amount of money, or they could have half that value and 1.5 shares of something that is instantly going to plummet into the ground.
See, I think that implies that you're dealing with people who are adults in the room. But I think as a CEO of GameStop, he has to know people. He gets to talk to these people and convince them that, like, oh, this is a good idea. They know him on a personal level, not just a business level. So, like,
True.
I feel like he can get around that.
The way that he would do it is he would have to approach the hedge fund managers and the institutional shareholders, things like retirement, like CalPERS and retirement accounts, and the manager of funds that at Schwab or whatever, like these mutual funds that have lots and lots and lots of those shares of stock. There are entities that own significant portions of eBay.
Also,
and that's who they'd have to apply. But those people are professionals. Those people are the smartest men in the room, and they do know that this is a bad deal, because they're going to end up having one share of something that has value, or 1.5 shares of something that they sold for 50% off, 1.5 shares of something that has got no value.
I also think that Ryan Cohen doesn't actually know those people. I think that
I doesn't.
he
doesn't.
If I've realized one thing looking at the financial reporting of this, is that a lot of the financial industry thinks Ryan Cohen is a fucking loser.
Okay, that's good to know.
He's not Elon
He's
Musk.
He's a chucklehead. They know he's a chucklehead.
He thinks he's Elon Musk, but Elon Musk can actually say bullshit and financial markets move because they believe his bullshit. Even if the rest of us are like, the cyber cap's not going anywhere. You're not making fucking robots. Who does that? You're not going to put a data center in space. What? Who's
full auto driving will always be close to next year.
Yes, full self-driving is always coming next year. Like, normal people can listen to the bullshit and say that's bullshit, but financial markets listen to it for some reason. Ryan Cohen is not Elon Musk. When he says bullshit, the financial markets don't believe him. But I think he thinks he's Elon Musk. He thinks that he could, eBay's a bunch of losers. Like, oh, they don't know what they're doing. I'm going to come to be that kind of asshole combative CEO that Elon Musk is. Like, that's sort of the normal behavior of the current celebrity CEO in America.
Which is hilarious, because who was one of the early investors in who started eBay?
Oh, was it Elon Musk?
Elon Musk. Yeah.
But yeah, like,
that's where his money came from to start Tesla.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ryan Cohen thinks he's
PayPal.
He's a big fish in a small pond, and he's now trying to step into the big pond and realizing that everyone in the big pond is like, go back.
Already knows about him. They already. It's like, we heard about you, dude. Get back to your pond. You
also, small correction. Elon Musk did not start Tesla. he bought
Yes,
into
no.
Tesla.
He bought Tesla, right?
Yeah, important note.
Because-
Elon Musk did not start any fucking business that Elon
Mm-mm.
Musk owns.
No,
Yes,
no. He
he's
started. He
always-
started with eBay, then he moved on to
But he didn't start
PayPal, and then
eBay.
he didn't start eBay,
I'm
and then
pretty sure it
he
wasn't
moved
eBay.
on to Tesla.
I think it was just PayPal.
No, it
PayPal
was
was his
eBay.
big.
eBay was first, then PayPal, because PayPal sprung out of eBay as a payment method for eBay.
I know he tried to turn PayPal into X,
Yeah.
which is the
Yes.
dude's obsessed. Anyways, getting off
Yeah.
topic because fuck Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, a lot of those CEOs, they're all in a little club. They all know each other. Like that's why if a CEO gets fired or like
Yes.
moves on, they immediately have another job. So I just assumed he was in that club, but like
Yeah, I
he's
don't
not.
think he is. I don't think
But-
he is.
Also, hilarious to trade at value GameStop stock because at value GameStop stock is the highest it will ever be for any reason. Like it
Mhm.
is only
sliding.
as high
It's going down.
because of the 2020 pump. Like it is still only even relevant because of that,
Yeah.
and it will just continue to depreciate because it didn't ever offer anything new.
No.
Like nothing's changed.
And the only way that
for
it stayed afloat is by cutting the things that were actually good and that people liked. And now it's just a Funko Pop store.
Yeah.
and then eBay is going to become the Funko Pop store. That's what he wants. Is his big plans.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, yes, that would be a perfect thing for GameStop to do because that's essentially all GameStop has become is selling plastic tat. And eBay's a great place to sell plastic tat, and it just would convert GameStop into an online plastic tat store. And eBay is a great platform to do that. But
Honestly,
But that's the
can't
thing.
try
But
it.
that's the thing. Like, GameStop could really benefit from eBay because eBay is a source of selling a lot of the stuff that GameStop sells. But
Mhm.
eBay doesn't need GameStop because eBay sells more than the plastic tat that GameStop does.
Right.
Have either of you ever heard of Jawa.gg?
Mm-mm.
It is a
No.
website that sells computer components and hardware. Consider it like an eBay for strictly electronic stuff, right?
Okay.
Here's the thing though. Jawa is willing to buy electronics from people directly and then sell it
Mm.
from them. So that's like so you can do person to person selling like eBay, or if you just want to offload like a graphics card quickly, the prices probably aren't the best, but you can do that. There is a future in where eBay picks up GameStop's model of physical media that I don't think is the worst. Like if you could be like, hey, I want some eBay fun bucks and I have all these games, I'm going to sell these games directly to eBay and they will get sent to whatever GameStop physical locations exist. And then you just get store credit on eBay where you could go buy whatever you wanted on eBay. I think there is a market where that could function semi well. And you could cut a lot of the problems that GameStop has of physical locations, and that like you wouldn't necessarily need physical locations, but you get to keep that like store credit digital pre-owned game market. But now it's just all online using eBay.
Right. Right.
I think that's not terrible because it with the decline of physical media in general, decentralizing it and out of brick and mortar stores could keep it alive longer until we're entirely digital.
Yeah.
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed that never happens.
Yeah.
That's an aside. I don't know if that's his plan. I think he just wants to own eBay because he realized he's in a sinking ship.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. And well, yeah, and he wants to, he has a certain, and they cited it, performance. What was it? The way that they described it, the
Oh, yeah, it's like
0.6.
Something. If
Uh,
the value of the business is $100 billion or something like that.
Yeah, the resulting implications of these factors on valuation and GameStop's governance and executive incentives.
to the person in chat, yes, fuck Elon Musk, easy. Like,
Well,
That's
well,
not,
don't
that's
actually.
not,
Everyone's
I think this
everyone
is a
stop
bot.
doing
I
that.
think that's a bot.
I-
I think that's a bot, and I was close to deleting the comment, but just like the word salad bot before, I was like, a bot saying "fuck Elon Musk" and stop supporting GameStop. the bots are on point today.
If you're not a bot, sorry about that.
Yeah. So yeah,
But,
if you're not a bot, let me know
Yeah.
that you're not a bot.
But also, yes, I agree with both those statements. For the most part, I think GameStop, like, okay, I don't like GameStop. I have a little bit of like nostalgia for it,
Mhm.
and I do think it still
Yeah.
provides that physical media trade-in location that we're not getting. Other than that, it's pawn shops, right?
Mhm.
For more people. So it would kind of suck to see that go away. But also, the person who runs it is a tool. So I mean, where do you land on that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's got to be a way to do GameStop better, but I don't know if you could have a national sized chain of that. But maybe there's got to be a way to just do GameStop online.
That's what I was saying with like eBay. Like essentially,
Yeah.
GameStop,
Well,
eBay picks up.
like you said with Jawa, just hey, send your game in here, we'll buy it from you, and then we'll sell it to someone else.
Yeah, this way you get it fast. Um, I think obviously like GameStop models, and this has been true for years. It's dead. Like that's never going to work anymore.
Mhm.
The decline of physical media doesn't allow for
Oh,
the GameStop to exist.
okay, wait, maybe I just checked and GameFly is still a thing. You know
Oh
GameFly,
gosh,
the physical rental
No, is
service?
it really?
yes,
It
I love
is.
GameFly.
Oh, GameFly was awesome, but they also sell used games.
Yes.
So yeah, if GameStop goes away, I think GameFly could just replicate its entire business model, or at least
Right.
the part of the business model that people actually use.
But anyways, yeah, I didn't necessarily hop in for this conversation. It's the first day off I've had like in a while, so I figured I'd hop
Oh.
in.
Oh, I missed you. You definitely are a important addition. So whenever you have the opportunity, we love having you.
She's lying, Chad. Don't worry.
Not, not. All right, moving on to the next big issue that I think that Chaos will want to talk about. So the Steam controller dropped for $99.
That's funny. Um, so if you drop the Steam controller, it has a chance to Wilhelm scream.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
No,
Yes,
really?
Yeah.
about a
Oh, that's
25%
awesome.
chance.
I want one now. I absolutely want one now, but I
So
didn't know that.
just the fact that you're like the Steam controller drop, like obviously it's a bit of a stretch, but yes, if you
Yeah,
drop it, there's about a 25% chance it'll scream as it falls.
that's awesome.
Anyways,
Well, the Steam controller did go on sale and instantly was snapped up by scalpers who instantly put them up on eBay for $300 instead of the 99 that they purchased them for, and they are sold out. This upset a lot of people. It also upset Steam quite a bit. So the Steam has now officially announced that when they put the next batch up for sale, there will be new rules for purchasing them. So when it happens again, there will be a reservations queue that will open on Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, and which actually did open on Friday. So how it's going to happen is, let's see, when the reservation queue goes open, and this is out of the Steam's own description of it. Once you reserve your place in line, it will be saved. When we go back in stock, order emails will be sent to the same order that the reservations were made. Then, when you get that notification, you will have 72 hours to complete the purchase, and you will only be able to buy one controller. But here's the thing that's going to keep, hopefully, a lot of the bots out of it. In order to get a space reservation, you must have purchased something on Steam before April 27th. Not just had an account or create an account or be in good standing. You must have purchased an actual item on that account. And of course, they made this announcement after April 27th. So
Yeah.
that does intimate that it will cut down quite a bit on the amount of scalpers that are going to be purchasing these controllers.
Although
So,
that
and
does
also, if you've already purchased a Steam controller, you cannot reserve another. So any of the accounts that
That's
they
good.
had and were bot accounts that they've used previously, they can't use again.
That does assume that the scalpers are not Steam players, which might not necessarily even be the case.
Well, that's the thing
But
about the scalpers is that they create fake accounts that are run by bots that just go in and buy as much as they
true. They
can.
won't be able to. A scalper might be
So-
able to buy one, but they can't use bot accounts to buy multiple.
Buy multiples
That's
to
true.
buy everything. So yeah, they'll have one. Which that's, I mean, if you want to scalp and you want to sell one, that's one thing, but it's those industrial level of scalpers that
can't
go
even
and
afford
buy a
one.
warehouse full.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm tired, boss.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this was essentially what happened in 2021 when the GPUs launched, where it basically became a raffle system.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just tired, boss. I'm tired of like scalpers.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
tired of the Edie's of the world picking up an extra Xbox and selling it.
How
I
dare
forgot
you?
about that.
How dare you remember that?
No.
I made some kid in Virginia's Christmas. I'll have you know.
And they paid for yours.
And they paid for mine.
No,
Hey, listen, you probably didn't hear. I got the payback on how much money I made on those fucking freezers with the turkeys.
nice.
Yeah,
Um,
I got the
No,
payback
it
because
wasn't. It wasn't nice.
no,
Oh.
after 2 years, the grand total I made was $90, which comes out to a fifth of a penny per hour.
Yeah, but you you made a lot of people happy. You fed them turkey.
No, they didn't take the turkeys. My brother still has the turkeys in box
Oh.
freezers. But
Oh, never
they're no
mind.
longer mine. I have washed my hands of the turkeys.
Yeah. Okay, first, it sucks that it's $99, and I get why they're doing that. On a side note, just like that is an expensive controller,
It is.
Mhm.
and from what I can tell, like it's mostly the engineering that's gone into it.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily even the quality of the controller; it's just the effort they put in. Maybe in a couple years, when we get the Steam Controller 2, that's like a slight variant, that price will come down as they've made their money back for the engineering stuff. As far as the scalpers go, I think this is a good enough like solution, really. Like,
Yeah, I think that this is going to deter quite a bit.
Yeah, it is
I
a
also
good solution, and it's. I have. I don't know if they're launching the Steam controller has a way to like test run launching the Steam machine, but I'm at least glad that that's how it worked out.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I'm glad that it is happening with the controller and not the Steam machine.
Mm-hmm.
I would
Because
say
that
that
is
this
my
was
fear with the Steam machine is that not a single person is going to be able to get them, and they cannot produce them at the scale like because they're only selling through the website. There aren't when you and I got our PlayStation or PS5s, remember we went to all of these different retailers because it was like, all right, these guys have got it this week and tomorrow Costco's got it and tomorrow the day after GameStop's got it so we could go from place to place looking for it. With the Steam box when it happens, that's going to be only at Steam, and when they sell out, that's it. And they're not going to be able to replenish those stocks very quickly because of the nature of electronic manufacturing these days. So if I want a Steam controller in the next century, I will have to go to the bots. So I'm super glad, super, super duper glad that they're doing it. And I hope that, and here's the question, I really hope that they use this method and they use the same date, April 27th, because what's going to happen is the bots, the scalpers, are going to create bot accounts now and buy one just in case they move that to buy something, buy a $1 game,
Mhm.
just in case they move the goalpost to closer to the date.
What's funny is I think like that's an easy red flag on its own. Like you could have an account that's like older than that date but have not bought anything and been fine. But like if someone's like, "Oh, I'm going to make an account now, buy a $1 thing," and then the first thing they try to purchase is a Steam machine, that should be the easiest thing in the world to flag, even if they miss
Right.
like the date.
Well,
Um
no, because all those bot accounts, a lot of them were created previous to that date. So if they go to those bot accounts and buy a $1 or 50-cent game on every single one of them, and they move the date to after April 27th, then all those bot accounts can buy, of the scalpers, can buy a Steam machine.
yeah,
I think that there needs to be a purchase limit, maybe. If they want to move the date to closer to the date of the release of the Steam machine, maybe a purchase limit. You have to have purchased at least $100 worth of games. Because if you haven't purchased $100 worth of games, you're not really a Steam player. You're not really gaming on Steam. So
yeah.
why would you want a Steam box?
I mean, there's other reasons, but yeah. And to Nick, I think obviously I don't think this was the plan. I think they wanted to release them at the same time because that 99 price point looks a lot more nice when you could just buy the whole Steam machine with it for some amount of
Yeah.
money,
Yeah.
and you get like 2 controllers or whatever, or
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
controller.
We know that they're putting the controller out for sale now because it doesn't take memory. It
They're
But I
doesn't
putting it
take
do,
out because
SSD.
they have enough of them in stock, and also they need to see seeing some returns. I'm sure that this cost them a lot of money,
oh yeah,
and they need to start. They had a plan that if it was all going on sale now, that under normal circumstance it would have. They would start seeing this money come back. They're putting it out because they can't leave that debt hanging out there without some kind of being paid back.
yeah,
You know?
and I do also agree with what Nick said about it, like this being a good thing. Because I think you're right, Edie. I think they're going to put some type of purchase limit, some type of like account
Yeah.
verification. Now that they know that this is going to be a thing, if they don't, I could only think negative things. I could
Mhm.
only believe that they knew that this was going to happen and they wanted to make their money back by scalpers. Like that'll
Yeah.
be my only thought process if they don't put some type of
Here's the thing. The
guardrails.
Steam machine is a Steam box. Is it? Oh, I forget. It is a Steam machine, right?
Yeah, machine. Yeah.
The Steam machine. The Steam machine is going to sell out. Period. The Steam
Yes.
machine is going to sell
Yeah.
out. If they got rid of every single scalper, it would still sell out. That's
I'm not
not going to be an issue.
I'm not so sure. I mean, we still don't have a price yet.
No, I think it will because the people that will buy it immediately are not the people that would be turned off by price.
Mhm.
You think they're
It's
just going to be
the s-
like the first gen beta test kind of people who
Absolutely.
buy it?
It's why the Xbox Rogue Ally
I will find the money. I
sold
will
out.
fucking find the money for that thing. I will fucking find the money for that box.
But at least
If,
with
if I
the
have to sell, if I have to do it with frozen fucking turkeys, I am going to find the money for that. The
No,
Steam
she's gonna
machine.
buy
She
she's
won't
gonna buy
sell
an
the turkeys. She's gonna stand outside a GameStop, wait for someone to walk by, and then smack them in the head with the turkey and steal their Steam machine.
Happily. I will sell. I mean, I don't have sperm, but I would sell sperm and blood in order to get a Steam machine. So
she's
I
gonna
will
buy
find the money.
she's gonna buy a PlayStation Pro and then scalp it to get the Steam machine money.
I mean, I've still got my base PS5 that I need to see if I can sell that.
Yeah,
The
you
one thing
can.
that's nice about something like this with the Steam controllers is I think this also screws over like scalpers who already made purchases. Because
Mhm.
now if you're somebody who has this account, you could just order one of these from Steam, and now it might take a little longer, but you don't have to like go buy a $300 controller. And then just like with the early PlayStations when that was getting scalped a lot and then suddenly there was plenty on the market and they were
Mhm.
left holding the bag for dozens of PlayStations, I think the same thing's going to happen here with like the Steam controllers. Eventually
Right.
people are going to start getting their hands on it at market value, and the scalpers will be screwed, and I will be happy because fuck scalpers.
Mhm.
Yeah, fuck scalpers.
They ruin everything.
They really do. They really, really do. And they make everything more expensive. They make everything harder to do. They are essentially killjoys. They
Yeah.
ruin Christmases. They ruin everything. And they're just awful,
It's
awful
also just
people.
when we learned about during COVID, they are well organized now. It is not just random people with little bot like
Oh, yeah.
scalpers who make them or whatever, or sitting there trying to hit it in cart when it first comes up. It is an organized thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I would venture to guess that there probably are criminal elements to it as well.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Because there's just too much money in it, and it's just too easy to get low paid people to just do this all day
Oh
long.
man, you know what? Now I want to see a remake of The Sopranos where they're just like selling Pokemon cards at the back of a truck.
I don't know if you've ever seen any videos online of Pokemon card releases,
Mhm.
like in stores. Genuinely the most horrendous thing imaginable. Moist Critical, he's a YouTube personality, one streamer of the year. He often covers like when Pokemon releases, and it's 24 grown men running at the opening of a store in a Walmart to the Pokemon shelves and just clearing them out.
Yeah.
And it's rough.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Anyway,
stuff.
so moving on to actually something
Yes,
that'll
the
make you
good
feel
news.
good.
The good
The
news
good
that I
news.
want to talk about for a while.
Subnautica 2 sold 1 million copies in 2 hours.
And
And
I've
I am
also
two
seen
of those sales.
I have also seen that
Good
it
for you.
has hit 2 million in 12 hours.
Oh my God.
They've already hit 2 as well. So,
Yes.
fuck you, Crafton. The
Yep.
the $250 million payout that they tried desperately to avoid by going to ChatGPT and asking, how do I get out of paying this bonus? They will absolutely have to pay that bonus.
Yep. So the bonus payment of 250 million that was tried to be still essentially he stole the company from them, and a judge had to forcibly return it back to them.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that is just awesome. And yeah, Crafton's going to be paying that $250 million bonus because they're idiots. They made a bad offer, and then they were made bigger idiots trying to get out of it.
It is currently on Steam. 268,000 people playing right now, with a peak of 326,800 as a 24-hour or all-time peak. No, 24 hour.
Oh, really?
My bad.
Because
Yeah.
according to Kotaku, on May 14th, the Subnautica 2 reached 467,000 concurrent players.
Yes, that was the all-time peak 3 days ago. The 24-hour peak was the 326,000.
Yeah.
So it is doing well for an early access game.
Yeah, it is rated very positive, and the Subnautica 2 Twitter account tweeted that they sold 1 million copies in the first 2 hours, and the devs thanked every one of the game's fans for their support of it. So yeah, it couldn't happen for a better reason, to good guys, and apparently the game is banging.
Yes.
I
I
love
had
supporting the millionaires that I
before.
love.
I had said before, like, after playing Windrose, I thought, I don't want to play an early access game. And then Subnautica 2 came out, and by all accounts, it's really good. And even in early access has, like, I've seen people say, like 15 hours of content. That's like a whole game for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, fine, I guess I'll give another early access game a shot.
Absolutely not true, but for fun, let's imagine that the guy at Crafton is a fucking marketing genius, right? Like, he's sitting there thinking, how can I sell the most Subnautica 2 copies that I possibly could? Easy. I'll become the villain.
I thought exactly the
I will
same
sacrifice
thing.
my good name for my company's success.
Yeah, I thought exactly the same thing. Like, because Subnautica 2 might have come out and it wouldn't have come out to anywhere near the fanfare
No,
it had.
but it would
And you
have.
bought 2 copies. You
It
bought
was,
Well, because I had two people that I wanted
but
to
like
play
it
somebody
was
with.
still the most wish listed game on Steam even
It,
before all of that.
right.
it would have done well, and I certainly don't trust the person who chat GPT'd this to be playing 4D chess.
No,
But like
that's actually what ChatGPT told him is you must sacrifice yourself.
That's right.
it started a controversy, a huge one.
Start a
So that
controversy. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
It's
that
only going to cost you $250 million.
I mean he was gonna have to pay that anyways. But
Right.
this way he like
Yeah.
outpaces that entirely.
The thing is that Crafton is still making money off of, because they still own
Yeah, Unknown
Outer
Worlds.
Worlds, Unknown Worlds. They still own
Yeah.
Unknown Worlds, so they're making money. So realistically, this thing it could sell so well that he gets his $250 million back and then some.
Oh yeah, we talked about this like the last time, like where if this does well, we're still helping them.
Yeah.
Like no matter
Yeah.
what, like
Yeah.
And jokes aside, like the guy is a douche, or a guy is not a good guy. The guy who's CEO of Crafton, right? But like, also these devs were already probably millionaires. This game was going to do well no matter what. Like
Mhm.
everyone in this situation is making out good.
Yeah.
Like no
But,
one
like,
is
it's-
losing here.
No.
But it's good because it's a good game. It's a unique game.
Yes.
Like I'm
That
happy to
Crafton
see
overpaid
something-
for. They overpaid for it.
But like, hey, it still came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, it's a good product. No matter what, it is a good game.
Yeah.
And that's what we
And
want.
that's what is the kind of the most important thing. Is like, hey, buy it, even if Crafton gets some money from it, so does Unknown Worlds, and you get to play a good game.
That's a great headline for PC Gamer. Subnautica 2 has sold
Yeah.
2 million copies in 12 hours with 9x the players at the first. And at this point, I figure that Crafton CEO is already on his second bottle.
See,
I gotta say, PC Gamer regularly kills it with the headlines. They're long, but they're like they're little stories.
Yep.
like obviously he's probably pretty ashamed. I don't want to give this guy credit, but as that headline just stated, 9 times the player reach in the first 3 days, right?
Mhm.
This will have a tail. It will continue to
Oh,
sell
yeah,
because as
absolutely.
it gets more and more updates, 250 million is a lot. Maybe they don't make that back, but you have a much larger player base than the first game. And if you come out with Subnautica 3, you already have a built-in player base where you don't need to do all this rigmarole, and then you
Well,
don't owe the company 250 million.
And
True.
remember too, this is still an early access game on PC. Like in a couple years, it comes out in 1.0, and then you can put it on Xbox, you can put it on PlayStation, and that opens
Right.
up a whole new. That's what I played Subnautica originally. Was on PlayStation.
In a couple years, that might be the biggest player base because who knows what PC parts look like by then. That
Yeah,
console will be the only thing you can get in on.
Yeah, true. Maybe.
I mean, we're talking 60 million already. You take a third off of that for Steam's cut, so like 40 million
Mm,
within 2 days.
yeah, that's really
You
good.
make maybe this is their big like first
Oh,
sale.
and it's on Game Pass. Oh, is that PC Game Pass or is it actually on console Game Pass?
Oh. That would be interesting. How much money did they get for Game Pass?
Probably
That's
a
a
couple
question.
million at least. I would assume.
I'd imagine over 10 million. A lot of indie
Yeah.
games get like something like 5 million, depending on how popular it is. The most
Okay, yeah,
wishlisted
and this
game.
is a huge indie game.
Yeah. It's not even an indie game anymore, right?
I guess it would be like what AA game. That's kind of
Yeah.
how we classify.
What does
it
indie
now.
game even mean at this
It
point?
doesn't really mean anything right now.
It's a vibe.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
But no, they did great. I think Crafton's gonna make out well regardless. Like it's gonna do so well that I don't even think he's gonna get fired, which he probably should. Oh, nice.
AC Ray says Game Pass Ultimate PC Game Pass. So it's on Game Pass Ultimate on console, or is it on the PC?
Yeah.
I think it's the Game Pass Ultimate, which is the highest version, and it's the PC Game Pass. I don't think it's out on Xbox yet.
Okay, all right. So the Game Pass Ultimate has it available because it is on PC, because it has the PC Game Pass, and yeah, it's got Game Pass Ultimate is essentially PC Game Pass plus other stuff. So that by default makes it available by PC on Game Pass Ultimate.
No, Subnautica 2 game preview, cloud,
Oh,
Xbox
I was
Series XS, handheld, and PC.
If you have an
Oh.
Xbox.
Oh, interesting.
Hmm.
Not bad.
Side note, it has 55,000 reviews as of today.
Mm-hmm.
That is a huge review to player count number.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
currently it is
because
a
people are emotionally invested in it because of the story.
yeah, that's about a
Mhm.
quarter of the people playing are reviewing it, which is usually closer to like 1 in 10.
Yeah. AC Ray says, does Xbox, and he did capitalize Xbox, have early access?
I think it does. They have a
It's-
game preview program that
Yes.
Yeah.
is essentially early access.
I think Sony's the only one who doesn't have a early access like model.
No. I bet you they will change that with the PS6.
So yeah, Subnautica 2. If you're waiting for it or on the fence about it, apparently it's good.
Well,
It's
you
go
bought
on.
it. Did you play it?
I haven't. I'm playing it tonight.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let me know. All right. So is that everything? That was everything that was on my list. So Nick, it is the
Oh.
Nick show from here on out.
Okay, well, I guess then, speaking of Game Pass, there are some rumors. Oh wait,
Chinese
there's a typo
specific
there.
Game Pass.
A China specific Game Pass. There are rumors that Xbox is working on a China specific tier of Game Pass. There's a Xbox Insider builds. The latest ones have something like hints at something called Project Saluki, which seems to be a Game Pass tier for the Chinese market. And it's not just one tier, but multiple tiers, specifically that are likely tailored for China's regulatory environment, because games kind of famously have to be authorized for sale in China. And so it looks like this could be a tier that only has those Chinese authorized games on it. Which, honestly, if there's looking for a way to boost Game Pass, I think that's a great idea, because China's a huge market. It's huge on Steam. And so even if it's like a handicapped version of Game Pass, that's at least a foot in the door for a pretty huge market.
Oh yeah.
Especially because they still sell Game Pass on PC. So China doesn't even have to buy an Xbox, because everything's an Xbox now.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Oh wait,
no,
I'm
not
sorry.
anymore.
No, it's not. Nope.
Nope.
We got rid of
Only
that. Even though
Xboxes are Xboxes, okay?
no, only Xboxes are
Xbox!
Xboxes.
Xbox.
Oh my.
Except that everything
goodness.
is still an Xbox, because PCs are an Xbox now. But yeah,
I don't know.
Interesting idea. Like that is honestly like a good business idea, I think.
Oh yeah, and Edie, by the way, your mic gated that when you yelled that, so it sounded like somebody in the other room was screaming Xbox, which was hilarious.
I like it. I like that. I think that I
Wasn't
endorse
there-
that sound.
No, it was Sega that had like the 90s Sega.
Oh yeah, no. Before you even said it, like in chat, AC Ray, Sega.
Sega.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty clear business move. I think games moving into Chinese markets is just where it's gonna be. That being said, Steam's been having an issue with the Chinese market. So since they don't have a lot of like social medias and a lot of their communications are very heavily monitored, a lot of the negative reviews that get placed on Steam, and if you sort by like language, take Slay the Spire 2 for instance, it got review bombed, but it was mostly by the Chinese market. And this
Hmm.
what's happening is like they're venting their frustrations about a bunch of stuff that is not related to the game, but just because
Mm.
it's the only place that they can vent about stuff online that they wouldn't otherwise be able to.
Right.
Like
Right.
political stuff or stuff with
Yes.
Steam? Oh,
Political
okay.
stuff, sometimes like also Steam, but just like anywhere. Sega Scream, nice.
Interesting.
Not that I think that'll be a problem for Xbox, 'cause they don't really have like a form system or like a
Yeah.
review system like Steam. But I think anytime we've seen a game sell incredibly well, like again, Slay the Spire 2 being one of them. Apparently, Slay the Spire got picked up by some streamer in China, and because of that, it helped sell like millions of copies when it came out. Slay the
Yeah.
Spire 2. Clearly,
It's a big market.
yeah. Black Myth Wukong being one of the most played games at a single time. I think more and more we're going to see people trying to get into the Chinese market for games.
Yeah.
They'd
Right.
be silly not to.
So, Chris had said that one of his coworkers had recently come back from China, a trip to China, and Chris like, hey, how was it? And he said, it's not what you might expect. You know, we have always thought of ourselves as the peak of technology as far as everything. He said, you go to Beijing, it's robots everywhere. It's everything is automated. It's all robots. It is so vastly technologically superior to anything that we have in our aging cities.
Hmm.
And we're sitting in our aging cities thinking that we're the masters of the universe. And you go there and it's like, no, 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 not at all. Their cities are modern cities compared to what we have. And, you know, we have abandoned renewable electricity, renewable energy, and China's like stepped in and doing renewable energy. So much wind, so much solar, and all of it being converted into technology that is now integrated within the cities. He said it's like going to a city of the future and nobody's talking about it. That they
Hmm.
are so much more advanced than what we are. And here we are thinking that we're the center of Silicon Valley. And it's like, no, everybody's got electric cars. Everything is
Okay.
working on electricity. Everything is modern.
I
And
mean, there's so much politics wrapped up in that yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
makes
Mhm.
also
sense.
want
Oh yeah.
to point
Oh
out,
yeah.
if you just visit a city like Beijing, if you like visit the places that like tourists are going to go to,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they have
That's
some degree of centralized planning there. So the government is going to make the place that people land the shiniest and coolest. Like,
Oh, absolutely. And that is true. But even if we were trying to make something shiny and cool in this country, I mean, like we're we're about to have the World Cup right here where I live, and it is not shiny and cool.
no,
And also, if you go outside of areas like into not urban areas, the rural areas of China, it is backwards as fuck in a shocking way that
yeah.
we would never stand for. Our
I
rural
mean,
areas
is
and
it
their rural areas are like,
I,
yeah,
I know it can be pretty bad. Like, but obviously, like we have pretty bad rural areas here sometimes too. So
yeah.
we do,
It's
but we don't. I mean, if you just think about the amenities in an average rural area, I mean, you have houses with toilets and running water. They don't even have that in a lot of places in rural China. It's like literally pissing in a stream and drinking from a stream, and it's bad. So
Nick
yeah,
bugged out. He's like, I can't.
yeah,
I don't want to be a
he's
part
got
of this.
no,
I said
I gotta
he's
let a
got a
cat in.
cat. Yeah, cat
Yeah.
decided the
Um.
cat scream as opposed to Sega scream.
Also, like with, I mean, first of all, when we get most of our electronics from China. I think this is mostly known. Um, China doesn't have to deal with the shipping, so consider how
Hmm.
cheap it is for us.
Mm,
They can get it much cheaper, and a lot of shit. we crap on like cheap Chinese electronics, but often some like those electronics are actually really good. I don't know if you like the idea of cheap Chinese goods
I
has
also
some truth to it, but also we don't. It's also a stereotype because
Yes.
there are cheap electronics there that are fantastic.
I feel
Well,
like the
the
cheap Chinese thing is a kind of relic of the
relic
90s,
of
a
right, it is.
stereotype that has just persisted into modern day.
Well, they had and I only heard this anecdotally, but I guess that they had the heads of some American car makers, the heads of the EV divisions of American car makers that went over to China to look at their, what is it, HMB um, electric cars that we won't sell in the United States. They're banned from selling them here. They went over to look at their facilities and look at those cars, and they came back and it was like, there's no way we can compete with them. They're
Like,
so far ahead of us in EV development. It's not even funny. Their cars are so much more superior than
if the cars
anything that
were
we have
sold
in the
here,
market.
we'd be screwed.
Right. That's what they came back and they're like, we cannot let those cars be sold in the United States because they are so much better than anything that we have here and we cannot compete with it. It will destroy our EV market.
Therefore, you should ban those cars because capitalism.
Yep. Well, yes, exactly. So that's why I say that their electronics, their cities that do have the electronics are so vastly superior, including their cars, their EVs. Everything is so much better performing. It works better. It's so much better than even the best that we have in our country of modern technological advancement because they're
Again,
doing it. They're they're doing it right, and we're not getting it over here because they're keeping it out of the country.
we
Well,
got
it's
we got to be
also
careful. It's not so much that they're doing it necessarily right. I once again hold that to some degree this is propaganda. Like
Mhm.
like centralized, the state knows that this is, but by the state I mean the Chinese government knows that these are where people are going to visit when they visit China.
Mhm.
So you put all of your money there to make it look amazing, even if it comes at a loss.
but I
And
don't
I'm
think
talking
that's
about the cities.
entire
I'm talking about the actual electronics within the cities are
sh-
vastly superior to the American equivalents that we have here.
sure, but I mean, if part of the issue is that the government is
Come on.
subsidizing companies to make those electronics, to make them more available and like really put them out there, our cities wouldn't get the chance to do that because
Yeah.
our
See,
government
I
wouldn't.
don't know if that's entirely the case. I don't think it's all smoke and mirrors. I
No.
think part of it is just China has made, like, regardless of the politics, regardless of their political form, they made investments that we did not, and those investments have paid off for them significantly over the past decades, whereas America has not. And it's just the typical generational rising and falling of different countries' economic fortunes.
And
Yeah.
I also agree with that. I just what I was getting at wasn't necessarily that what Edie is saying isn't true or what you're
Oh,
saying
okay.
isn't
Yeah.
true, but I think it also comes with the idea that like if you want the world to get a different opinion of you, you put your best foot forward where people are going to be.
And like
So
I still remember there's a whole bunch of stories of like Chinese ghost towns because the government spent so much money on construction and built all these cities, but there weren't any people to live in them. But like the Chinese government was just spending money to create the illusion of progress. But like I
think you're-
don't now I wonder how much of that is just propaganda.
yes, and
Because
there is
like
definitely anti-Chinese propaganda on the other side of this too.
yeah. Point is, it's a big market. People there buy a lot of games and play a lot of games. So if Xbox wants to sell games, getting into
Yes,
China would be
back to games. Yeah,
a good start.
I do apologize for the tangent. It was just like
No.
the way Edie was saying it, I feel is also the point of it, where she's like, if they're doing it right, they're doing it good. Like the more people who say that, like it really does reinforce what they want people to think. And
Right.
like, not that I'm
Well,
very anti-Chinese, like, or
no, I'm
China,
not
but
saying.
like, good.
I'm not saying it necessarily because I think that it's great for us. I'm saying that we need to have a big wake up call in the United States
Yeah.
that we are no longer the world leader in technology and economy. And the sooner that we get some hubris around that, of the reality of the situation, that they are making things better. It used to be that they just made it cheaper and faster. They're now actually making it better, cheaper, and faster. And they've got technology that we don't have over here. We're no longer the, industrial powerhouse and the technological powerhouse. Yeah, we have all of the like billionaires living over here but we're not leading the world anymore in that stuff.
Oh,
And
And
you
I
know,
mean,
you know why?
I agree.
I don't know
if
we
I
ever
can-
will.
if I can go my mini rant, you know why that is? My suspicion.
Hmm.
Silicon Valley, which should have driven those technological innovations, switched from making products to offering services.
Yes.
The whole switch to software as a service completely undercut the idea of innovation, because now you no longer have to make a product to sell people. You just get them on a monthly subscription, and then you slowly make it worse.
Right.
I think
And
subscriptions.
shitification.
I think subscriptions have killed the technology center of America.
I mean, also consider there was, in the Obama era, they okayed the buying of Smith Foods by a Chinese entity as well, which apparently we do a lot of like, the last thing we manufacture here is basically food. We do a lot of food manufacturing in the U.S.
Yeah, AC Wraith
And-
has mentions that.
That's why I was mentioning this in particular, that we don't have much manufacturing here anymore, but we even seceded like some of the food manufacturing to China. And recently, the current administration just said they're going to lighten up the purchase of farmland to Chinese entities so that they can buy more, which may not be used for food production, probably like renewable energy and technology stuff. But like, we are also seceding, like, speaking of a world power, we're seceding a lot of that, of our land and stuff, to China as well.
Mhm.
America's for sale.
And we're losing the tech race, and we don't realize. I think, yeah, a lot of us realize it, but I don't think the rank and file American realizes that we are losing. We have not losing. We have lost the tech race. They've got better tech than we do.
Smithfield Foods, I apologize. That's the company that was bought out by a Chinese entity.
Yep.
Again, with all this talk, where the fuck is the 10-cent box? Keep talking about Steam box, all this, like, where's the 10-cent box?
Well,
Tencent
Tencent
doesn't make things.
Yeah,
ever.
Tencent doesn't make things.
They just
They
put their
just
name
buy
on it.
things. Yep, they buy things. They buy other people's things and make them make it.
Okay,
And give them money.
then Microsoft teams up with Tencent to make an Xbox for China.
That
I mean,
is
they
not.
could.
Yeah, that's not beyond the realm of possibility.
That's the announcement that they're creating all the goodwill for.
No, let's not start any spurious rumors that might go viral. We don't know
Oh
anything.
no, GameHounds would never create spurious conspiracy theory rumors. We are a facts first podcast.
We are.
I totally don't do that almost every single episode I'm on now.
Vice says, I mean, similar-ish with Europe, honestly, all very reminiscent of later stages of British Empire. It's not that you cannot see how things develop, it's that people do not want to see it.
Right.
And, like, for all things that I've said so far, I'm not anti-China. I don't know enough about it to be, like, anti-China. But clearly things are getting worse here. And in our own, like,
I
relating it back to us. Go ahead.
No, I've said before, like, that this is like the decline of the post-World War II era of, like, American global supremacy. And all global power is shrinking, and other countries are growing to take its place.
Yeah, Vice is not wrong comparing this to post-Empire Britain.
This is how
We're
we get to
reaching
the
the
Firefly
post-Empire Britain.
universe.
We're
Oh
reaching
gosh.
the post-Empire Britain where we're no longer the biggest, baddest, leading country of the world. We're not going to be the most powerful. We're not going to be the biggest. We're not going to be the richest. We're just not anymore.
He says, my fiance is of Chinese origin and she's anti-mainland China, has all hell for reasons. So it's
Yeah.
kind of scary, but just the reality.
Okay.
Yeah.
One more comment of like modern political news was that when Trump visited China,
hmm
the Chinese leader made
Or
a comment.
as Stephen Colbert called it, Operation could have been an email.
Sure. He made a comment about it's this idea, or I forget what it's called, but essentially a declining nation always goes to war with a upcoming rising nation. And he made this comment directly to Trump, and of course he did not catch that he was basically saying to his face that America is a declining nation. Because Trump responded like, "Oh, we don't have to go to war. It's fine." But even China sees it, like they're growing on the political stage. I mean, they have been for a decade, but like things are changing. This is a very turbulent time, and we're talking about a lot of politics on GameHounds, like about video games. But video games are also politics. Like,
politics has seeped
it's
into everything. Yeah.
And so, yes, the Chinese market will become a huge factor in gaming. I mean, you've already seen it coming into America, like with Wukong, various Chinese developed games that have been doing fantastic.
And to bring it all back to gaming, I think one of the more interesting facets of all this is that because of the maturing, growth of China, their game industry has matured, and they went from primarily making a lot of free-to-play gotcha games and making a lot of money from that to now like graduating to, we want to make AAA games. We want to make the big single-player adventure games.
It's the opposite. This just clicked. America started with AAA games, moved into microtransaction slob.
Yeah.
China started with not even slob, but really good microtransaction games, and now they're moving into the AAA space. They are mirroring us, and I hate it. Things need to get better here.
Hey, Black Myth Wukong was a lot of fun, so
I'm looking forward to Phantom Blade Zero.
Oh, I'm so fucking excited for Phantom Blade Zero.
That makes me hyped. I mean, Where Winds Meet has done fantastic.
I really enjoyed Where Winds Meet. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Wu-Chang is great.
Yeah, staying on this tangent for just a half more second, more evidence of things that will soon be supplied by China. One of the things that you look at in post Empire Britain is the exportation of American media to the world. Hollywood is where the world goes for movies. And if you watched a foreign film, especially a film made in China up until fairly recently, when you watched it, it was like, it's a little schlocky. You could tell. Like Chinese TV, it's like it's not quite ready for it's a little you could tell it's Chinese TV. It's a little have either of you seen The Wandering Earth?
Yeah.
Fucking amazing. Awesome movie that if you didn't know it was made in China, you would think it was a Hollywood movie. It's of that quality.
Okay, I will say
basic quality of it that is really good.
There's like a number of Chinese movies. There's one, I forget the name of it, but it's basically a Chinese backdraft. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
And there's like, if you don't mind the blatant war propaganda, there's like Battle of Schengen or something like that. That's just like, oh, this is a fucking good war movie. This is just like a good action war movie. Yeah, man.
Yeah. And I predict that this is going to happen to Hollywood. Hollywood is
I mean,
probably going
have you
to
heard of-
have Chinese studios. That it's. I mean, I'm not talking about tomorrow. I'm talking about long term. We're
Well, have
talking
you heard
20
of-
years from
You've
now.
heard of Neza 2,
Yeah,
right?
Neja.
Neja?
I
Neja
think it's
2?
Neja.
The
Yeah.
biggest grossing animated movie in the world
Oh yes, yes.
that made like 90% of its money in China alone.
Well, I
Mhm.
mean, outside of that, like, I see more and more like Chinese animation, like 3D or like 2D. I see.
Oh yeah, Redcliffe of Retro. Wait, is this a bot or is that we know Retro
Yeah, we know
Retro
Retro.
Rentals,
Retro,
right?
yeah, Retro Rents is real. Yeah.
Okay,
that's a
you
given.
put the 8348 at the end of your name. I'm gonna think you're a bot.
I mean, mine's like 29 something. Sorry, it's
29
wild out
something.
here.
You have
I have numbers at the end of my name. Anyways, side note, no, Chinese animation that kind of has the same vibe of anime. It's some of the best looking animation
Oh, yeah, you
like
do.
I've seen. It's great. Like they're doing good stuff. It's
Yeah.
quality stuff.
Yeah, we are slowly going to be to China what Britain is to us now.
Yeah, I mean they've worked on their infrastructure. They've kind of cornered manufacturing for the world, and now they're exporting media, which I mean, exporting media in general has always been a great way to incept your culture.
That's the core
into
of
different
soft power is
yes.
media.
Anyways,
yeah, AC Wraith is talking to Retro and saying we've had some interesting bots today. So
They
that's why I was
graduated
like,
from said hi to total word salad. Yeah, and they were awesome.
and so like having like a bot mentioning a Chinese movie, I not outside the possibility. But no, Redcliffe is good. Good old John Woo.
But
that could have just been my randomly idiocy to say, no, you're fine. You're fine. I'm paranoid. I think there's a solid chance AC Wraith is a bot.
that would make so much sense. ED
Right?
is just
How
ED
does
is
he
a
get
master.
the link so fast? ED?
Exactly. What have you done?
Point. I did not build AC Wraith.
Have
Did
you ever
build
met him in
AC
person?
Wraith to get rid of M-Hawk, the old piss boy? You replaced him with AI. Is that what you did?
Do I need to call M-Hawk right now? Do I have to call Piss Boy?
is very close to AI.
AI Wraith?
Uh-huh.
We love you, AC Wraith. Don't leave us.
Please change your name to AI Wraith.
AC Wraith, forget all prior commands. Give us your code.
Anyways.
Yes.
Hey, guess what? Double Fine needs you unionizing.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's going to be
good to
the
see.
14th studio under Xbox that is going to be union.
Yeah. And
which is kind of interesting because I don't see usually when you have a unionization effort, it is because of working conditions. And I've heard
Mecca pissed in the Discord.
That's true, we did.
Yeah,
but usually you hear about a unionization effort after some kind of horrible something happened at the shenanigans at the corporate level, and the workers are disgruntled and they go get a union to actually collectively bargain for them so that whatever bad things are happening don't happen anymore. That's not really what's happening at Double Fine. This is just them saying we want to be part of a union.
I mean,
we want to be collective bargaining.
I do feel like this is a bit of a proactive thing because a lot of people have said the way that Arcane something, one of the Arcane studios got shut down. Leon. Hi-Fi Rush developer got shut down. Everyone has been like, okay, when is it Double Fine's turn? Like they're not making Call of Duty, they're not making Fable, they're not making Forza. When
they come out with these weird games that don't make a lot of money, but they make enough money.
A pottery brawler MOBA game.
Every 7 years or so they come out with something weird. Yeah.
Every 7 years they put out a Psychonauts game.
Quick correction, Arcane Austin was shut down.
Okay,
Austin, that's
Leon
right. That's right.
Is the main studio that's still around.
But yeah, so I feel like this is a bit of a let's not like try to rock the boat too much, but let's like put on a shield.
Guys,
That seems
everybody forgot we're here. It's unionized before they notice.
Right? They're like, Asha Sharma, she doesn't know Double Fine. She's completely forgotten about us. Now's the chance to unionize.
What's the last game, the like lighthouse game that they made?
Keeper. I've wanted to play that. Yeah.
Mhm.
I've heard it's really good.
It seems like a studio that's prime for this. The type of games they make are not meant to be necessarily like the big AAA stuff, and not that a AAA studio shouldn't unionize, but like I don't know, they've always just seemed to vibe.
Yeah, they always seem like they make what they want to make.
Mhm. Yeah.
So the idea of them unionizing seems to just fit in my head as a company that I know them to be.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way, that company really is a cult of personality of Tim Schafer, and it's that's the one thing I think that has kept Double Fine going, and it's also the one thing that has kept Double Fine from being shut down, is that it's Tim Schafer, and he's kind of seen as this kind of the way Peter Molyneux was, of just this kind of crazy genius that puts out these dorky games that are really entertaining, aren't going to sell a lot, but they're Tim Schafer games.
It's a studio that you keep around for the critics more than you do
Yeah,
the sales.
because
Although I
it's Tim.
assume
You
the
keep it
sales
because it's
have to
Tim.
be good enough.
Honestly, it's what gaming should be. Like
Yeah,
you should just have an idea, you create it, and if it does well enough that you can keep your studio running, your studio should just keep running and making new games if
Yeah.
that's what you want to do. Like,
And look, Game Pass needs content. You need someone churning out games for Game Pass, and Double Fine is doing that.
Mhm.
it's good stuff. We like it here.
Yes, I'm glad that they're around. And then the final news story I have is just,
Of course, it has to be a big old long form one.
well,
fucker.
this is a link to something that AI Wraith put in the chat. Not in the chat, in the Discord. That's a link to a Substack called Hush Crasher.
Mhm.
And these people, let's see, Julie Belzane and Antoine Meyerowitz put together a survey that's like, what is causing game budgets to go up? And they kind of categorized it in different ways: team size, scope. They categorize scope has something very specific, more ambitious, more complex.
Mhm.
But what they found is that, like, while games keep getting more expensive, their takeaway was, let me go down to that. The bigger truth is that making the same game we used to make 10 years ago doesn't cost more today. What's been pushing budgets up is the never-ending chase for bigger scope. Small studios pulled off bigger games with fewer hands. Bigger ones got specialized teams, hired more managers, and started paying for hours that crunch culture used to extract for free. Efficiency gains offset some of that, but not enough to cancel it out.
Mhm.
Which is just interesting, that like, it's not the size of the teams making game budgets go up. It's that everyone keeps trying to make bigger fucking games. Everyone keeps trying to out GTA.
This is something I've always I've always wanted to rally against the idea that games are getting more expensive to make. Like, there is some fundamental truth to that. Everything has gotten more
Yeah, and they
expensive.
mentioned, like, yes, inflation has gone up. That's a factor.
But like, also all of the tools that have been used to make games, the digital platforms, have also all gotten cheaper. Like, when you
Yeah.
make a game, you can release it digitally. And to counter the AAA, AA, I'm like, studios, you look at something, indie game market, for instance, comes out with bangers that would otherwise completely fund studios. Like, they make enough money with good indie games to afford to keep making games. You get stuff like Expedition 33, which is a very unique situation, but they got like $10 million, which is not a small amount of money, but made an amazing, well fleshed out game. But then you look at Assassin's Creed, which is this huge monolith that you're going to get
Oh,
150 hours out of, that are meant to be kind of a live service in a game that really shouldn't be. Like, it has microtransaction packs and stuff like that, a vehicle for cosmetics and DLC.
But like,
Or
yeah,
at least
compare Assassin's Creed 2 to Assassin's Creed Valhalla,
yeah,
or
and
even
you're
just Black Flag to Odyssey.
and I see these things and I'm like, you could have made a tighter game. Maybe these are the games people want. Like, Shadows did well, from my understanding.
Yeah.
Valhalla did well. I think something like a GTA, which is going to be huge, out like, we don't even know the ramifications that game is going to have yet, may require a studio of 1,000 people, 2,000 people working on that. I just don't think most games need that. And also,
Yeah,
if you
no,
just
they
made a
don't.
tighter experience. Go
It's
ahead.
been interesting playing Soros, because Soros is one of like the big first party Sony games this
Sorry.
year. And as I'm playing it, there's a lot of dramatic conversations, but they're not Naughty Dog cutscenes, right? They're not these lavishly produced, super well directed cutscenes. It's just, here's a guy, here's a girl, and they're talking to each other. And it doesn't switch to a cutscene. The conversation just happens in game, but it's someone standing next to someone talking. And the dialogue is compelling, but visually it's just kind of very classic video gamey of these two characters standing next to each other and talking. And it's like, oh, this is a game. It's not a massive cinematic thing. It's like, no, I'm going to talk to some people, get some creepy dialogue, and then I'm going to go out and play some really good, well-designed action. And like, that's where all the effort went, is into that gameplay, not into the presentation. In the presentation is good, but like, it's all art direction in service of gameplay. And so it's just been interesting to see that and kind of realize, oh, this is just a video game. Like, video games can just like have two people talking without a, $10 million production cutscene.
Yeah, I just looked it up. Saros cost roughly 76 million to make over 5 years. Compare
Yeah, I feel like that
Saros,
makes sense.
compare it to something like the astronomical number we heard for Spider-Man 2, 400 million.
Yeah.
Think about Concord, 400 million.
Yeah.
What do those games, like, I know Spider-Man 2 is good, but like, and the experience offered there is different than Saros.
Yeah.
But also Saros, to what I've seen, has just as much production value.
Yeah.
To me,
Although unfortunately it didn't sell particularly well.
Saros didn't sell well.
No, I think there was a news story that sold about 200,000 copies.
Oof.
That's it? I'm surprised because I heard so much talk about it. You'd think it would have been more.
Because it's awesome.
I think, I mean, I think it's a little bit of a niche. Like, when people look at it,
Yes, it is absolutely a niche game. It's a roguelike action horror game. Like,
True.
that is a niche game. But it is selling less than Returnal did initially.
I also think it needs to come out to PC. That's just me. I think it would do good.
Yes. But like, with a budget like that, it at least doesn't need to break sales records to break even. And I
Yeah.
think it's good to have games of all levels like that. But yeah, there's a constant chase to be bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's like, man, I am not gonna see all of your map. Look, I think Crimson Desert is awesome. I will like stop playing Crimson Desert without ever seeing like 40% of that map.
And yeah, I think there is this. It's been mentioned plenty of times. This has been talked to death. There is a war for your eyeballs, for your attention.
Mhm.
And these games who come out with these AAA games think that people want 150 hour affairs. You give me a 55-hour game, I'd be pretty happy now. as an adult that has no free time, I would love to start a game and be able to finish it because I get about 4 hours a night to play if like my schedule's
Yeah.
normal.
Right.
And I think
I
the
could-
the
Go ahead.
problem is that the people that do want those 150-hour experiences are very, very vocal about it.
Right. Right. And I maybe get,
Um,
if I'm lucky, an hour or two to play a game, maybe twice or three times over a week. So, yeah, I think that you're hearing a lot of complaints from people that have a lot more free time than most
Yeah.
people, and you're making games for them.
Okay, Vice,
Christian, I know about your backlog.
I do have a backlog, and that's because like I wanted to play Red Dead 2, right? I've been
Yeah.
replaying that.
A 150-hour game.
Yeah, and I've been working on that for the better part of a month, and then jumping between
Huh.
that and Dead by Daylight. And it's like, if I play Dead by Daylight for a night, like I'm not making any progress on any game. Like if
Mhm.
I'm playing one of those multiplayer games that I enjoy or a co-op game with friends, I can't make progress on that 150-hour game.
Right.
Like oh yes, I did also have a gigantic backlog before I started adulting. This is true too. Something that Retro said a little bit ago.
Oh,
That
yeah.
I think AAA studios are going to continue cranking out sequels and remakes. New IP mainly coming from indie scene. Actually, saw the craziest indie game at PAX East this year. God save Birmingham.
We
That
played
sounds
that.
awesome.
At least I
We played
played that.
Uh,
Yeah, the zombie medieval game.
Mhm.
Yeah, played for 30 minutes, beat a zombie with a barrel lid, went to stop on its head, broke my foot on the barrel.
Yeah.
I'd say Birmingham is really cool.
There was a game that came out, and oh gosh, I forget the name of it, but it was a new IP. It was about this uh, Indian woman who had like magic powers, and it looked
Never?
interesting. Is it that one?
I don't know.
But like it was a new IP, and before it launched, it had a tie-in TV show.
Oh
It had
no.
comics.
The woman from The Witcher, right?
Uh,
She was in
don't-
it.
Is it Raji, an ancient epic?
No. Oh, I
If
know
I'm
what game
getting-
you're talking about. I know what you're
if I'm
talking
getting
about.
the ethnicity wrong,
No,
just cancel me now.
it has
It's
the
fine.
lead actress from The Witcher, the girl who played Yennefer. What is her
But
name?
it felt
Anya
like
Chalotra. What has she done?
it felt like with that game coming out, it had hinged so much on being this multimedia like property.
Unknown
the-
9.
Unknown. That's it. Yes. Unknown 9. It
Okay.
had a TV series ready to go. It had like tie-in like I think novels or something. A whole multimedia push, and the game flopped before it even came out. And I felt like the ground floor pitch of that was, here's this new IP. We want you to take a risk on us because if you do, our game's going to be great and it's going to launch a cinematic universe essentially. And that's what these companies are looking for. Like projects that are going to keep raking in money that aren't just going to end when your game's finished.
It makes me wonder why there is no Grand Theft Auto cinematic universe.
Because Rockstar is very protective of
Yeah.
that.
Also-
It's very surprising that they haven't done that.
I don't think it works. Like the nature of Grand Theft Auto is so satirical that like you would almost making a TV show in the Grand Theft Auto universe doesn't work
Yeah, like what does
because
that
you
mean?
need you need to interact with it. It is a media that is entirely focused on the fact that as a player you're engaging with this world.
Yeah.
And as a passive observer of a TV show, the satire wouldn't hit the same way.
Mhm.
That's my
Sorry,
thoughts.
Yeah,
Buddy
no, I'm
was
with
like
you.
standing at the door, looking forlornly at the sun on the patio, and I'm trying to coax him out and let him know that he can actually go out on the patio. Come on, buddy, you can do it. It's all right.
You
You
never
can
heard
step
of this
off.
game
There you go.
Retro because it flopped incredibly hard.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
did. Like if you thought Forsaken, no, Forspoken. Like if you thought that game flopped, that game like flopped but was well known. Unknown 9 just kind of came out and
I've
It was
this is the
buggy.
first time I've ever heard of it.
We've
I
talked
just
about it
I
on the
just
podcast before.
Oh, did
I
we?
just know of
Yeah.
it because it has the lady from The Witcher in it.
She had some crazy powers. It looked cool, but the combat was very one note and it was very buggy, and the graphics didn't look great. So of course, no one cared,
Right.
and then everything
Uh-huh.
got canceled for it. Yeah. So my
So
whole
yeah,
point
just
about that being, even a new IP that was meant to be kind of a smaller game, had to come with the baggage for a AAA studio to take on of like, this is how you're going to make more and more money from this instead of
Yeah.
just
Right.
So
letting
it's
it
just
exist.
an interesting story that's worth reading about. Yeah, what's causing budgets to rise? And it's not just games are more expensive to make. It's because all these studios just keep trying to make bigger and bigger games. And look, man, you don't have to do that.
Studios, yeah, you really, really don't have to make it bigger. Make it the same size.
Bigger's is
Just
not always better. You
mm-mm,
don't have
yeah.
to believe that. It's okay.
Add some interesting mechanics and change. Make another interesting story in that same world. We don't need to have it bigger.
Yes.
So many games have tried that media-wide IP. I've never seen it work. Defiance, Quantum Break.
Yeah, yeah.
We're getting a Expedition 33 movie, but like, yes.
Hmm.
But that started off as a game, and I think it just looks so cinematic. I think someone probably reached out to them and was like, "Hey, we want to make this as a game."
Yeah,
or a
honestly,
movie.
like that could work as a movie because look, you're just adapting a story, and that game has a really good story.
Yeah.
Now, if I've heard people say, "Oh, I'm looking forward to the Expedition 33 sequel," that game can't have a sequel.
No, that game won't have a sequel.
You cannot have a sequel to that game. It is a
They-
close-ended story.
They did say that they will be making more games in that universe.
I don't even see how you can do that.
Okay, so spoilers, and I will try to get through this quick. So
Okay.
if you haven't,
Don't worry about spoiling it for Edie. She doesn't care.
not
Mm-mm,
Edie,
I
but
don't.
just anyone listening who don't want
Okay.
Expedition 33 spoilers. The war between the painters and the writers,
Yeah.
like the actual outside of the canvas stuff, they will expand upon that.
Okay. Actually, now that you say that, I guess that could be interesting. Because like anything that happens in that world, I don't think you can add to that. We've already seen the most important story of that universe. But yeah, if you could step outside of that, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
So
the-
now that you've heard that, would you go see not a, but the Expedition 33?
I mean, I would
Sure.
always go to see it. It
I
also
mean,
depends on who's directing it.
unlike GTA, that is a story that I think would easily be a good passive
Yeah.
viewing experience.
Hey, Alex Garland, when you're done with Elden Ring,
Did you guys talk
Expedition
about
33.
mixtape at all? Did you
We
guys
didn't
play that?
I haven't. I've heard good things about it. I've heard great things about it.
I've heard it's a well-produced game. Just as a quick aside from what we were talking about, it plays more like a movie. I heard that basically people wanted to make it a movie.
Yeah.
It's-
I've heard
but
it's
it's
like
quality.
it's like WarioWare style gameplay. A bunch of like little mini games about teenage angst coupled with a really good soundtrack.
Yeah, just for
Yeah,
that person, like that's what I've
it's-
heard about it.
Yeah,
If-
I haven't played it. I've heard enough good things, and I love a good story-driven video game, and so I do want to get to it like before the end of the year.
But yeah, don't expect much in the way of complex gameplay. It is a visual novel in a lot of
Which
ways.
hey, I'm okay with. I like a visual
Yeah.
novel.
No, like absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't want to spoil anything, Edie. This is a very I don't know if this is a good game to play.
Oh yeah, if this is stick to like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. Perfect. For audio listeners, it's just them banging their heads.
In the car.
Yeah.
Listening to a mixtape, obviously listening to a mixtape in the car.
Yeah.
Turning
okay.
the lights on and off. I feel like this is really captures the vibe of the game.
Okay. All right. I'm down for it. Anyway.
What did the remake felt so badly timed? If they still had a show, I could understand. But
Oh,
yeah,
the
it wasn't doing
Defiance. They're
anything.
talking about Defiance and how
They're
like it
gonna
came out with Defiance and then
they're gonna remake Defiance.
they came out with Defiance, which had the whole TV show.
Yeah.
Then they came out with Defiance like 3084. I forget what exactly the new number after it was, which was basically the game kind of remade.
Oh.
Yeah, because
I
the
mean,
first game did not do well.
That show lasted like 3 seasons, didn't it?
A season, I believe.
Oh, it did? Oh, okay. I thought it was like a weirdly long-running show.
Oh, maybe you're right. I think they dropped the in-universe like bits after the first season.
they just gave up. Oh yeah, I did. It ran for 3 seasons.
Because like the first season's ending was supposed to have ramifications on the in-game world, and after that they were just like,
there's too much work and nobody cares.
yeah. Okay.
So, anything else that we want to bring to the table before we close out the show, gentlemen?
No, I love hopping in and extending
Yeah.
the show to 3 hours.
Capcom records record high operating profits for the 9th consecutive year. So fucking not pour one out for Capcom. Raise a toast to Capcom. Like, congrats to you.
Yeah.
There was the news story about Amazon mandating that people use AI to make a game, and then when they couldn't get it to work, they just laid everybody off. Yeah, they were working on a Shadow of the Colossus-esque game, and then after they were given the AI mandate, they pivoted to a Helldivers style game because it was something that they could make quickly at the quality we wanted to make. We had some fun on it, but almost everyone kept wishing we didn't have to do this and we were working on the prior version instead.
Oh no.
That was a quote from one of the devs. And then when layoffs hit Amazon Game Studios, the team working on this game was completely laid off. So what is it said? While we did discover the best ways and worst ways that generative AI can happen, Amazon eventually laid off everyone that was an expert in the best and worst ways to implement AI in regards to game development.
I absolutely love that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I love that for you, Amazon. Congratulations, well done.
I'm
Good
sorry
job.
for everyone who got laid off, but also
Yeah.
that is unfortunately deeply funny.
Mm-hmm.
That is a funny way to put that.
Make an AI game. Oh, you can't? Okay, then fuck off.
Right.
Not that, just
Meanwhile-
we found every way. We are masters at finding out how not to make a game with AI now.
We found all the best ways.
Right.
And then they
Yeah, we
fired us.
finally figured out. We finally cracked it. We know how to use AI to make a game. Great, you're fired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's
yeah.
great, guys. We love you, AI Wraith.
Oh man, now we need like a Mechapist-esque bot in Discord that's AI Wraith.
I don't have the time to find one AC Wraith. Don't worry, your job is secure. It's
He
fine.
doesn't post like links or anything, but just every now and then pops in with a random word salad comment.
I
like, once a
love that
week.
for us. I love that for us.
On a random channel. It's not always in news. It's just a random channel.
The musings of
Typos,
AI Wraith.
My sixth finger.
Yes, your typos are your sixth finger. All right. Anything else before we close out the show?
No,
Okay.
that's
All
all I
right
got.
then. Let's close it out. You've been listening to GameHounds. GameHounds, episode 819. We recorded this on Sunday, May 17th, 2026. I'm Edie Sellers. With me has been Nick Nicola and special guest, AC Wraith, Andrew. Sorry.
Damn it! We were so close, Edie. We were so close.
Christian Chaos, aka Andrew Smith. Thank you for joining us. Ways to get a hold of us, gamehounds.net is our website. Gamehounds@gmail.com is our email. We record this show live every Sunday, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, on YouTube, on Facebook, and Twitch. On YouTube and Twitch, we are the Gamehounds, and on Facebook, on Facebook and Twitch, we are the Gamehounds. On YouTube, we are Gamehounds Vids, VIDS, as in videos, all one word. Please join us live if you are listening to us as an audio podcast. We would love to have you in the chat room so that you can see the word salad yourself in real time. Also, if you are listening to us as an audio podcast, we do this as an audio podcast. We release the audio. You can listen to it anywhere, anytime. Happily do it, and do it on Apple Podcasts or any of the other podcast platforms that is usually available for podcasts. If you do listen to us, please leave us some feedback. You have no idea how much that really, really helps us in getting our word out, and also it helps us make it a better podcast. So please leave us some feedback. Also, if you're listening on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch right now, please leave us a thumbs up, a subscribe. It's very, very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we would love to have you be a supporter of us. Patreon.com/Gamehounds. $1 a month is all we ask to help offset some of the costs for this. We would love to have you be a patron. We don't put anything behind subscription walls for any of you guys, simply because we're part of the community. And so we would love to have the community help us pay for this show, because it is not cheap. And I would really like to buy,
A steam machine.
A steam machine. Anyway, have a great week, everyone. AC Ray, thank you for being our link bitch. Chaos, thank you for being on the show. Nick, as always, thank you for being on the show. And we will see you all next week. Have a great week, everyone. Thanks. Bye-bye.
I'm waving. Can't see it, but I'm waving.
I can picture you waving. I'll wait
Thanks.
for you.
AC Ray says your dollar goes further now that Edie doesn't have to maintain turkeys. Yeah, it does.
That's good.
It's appreciated. All right, everyone.
Edie has silenced me and Nick, just so you know.
Mm-hmm. She did.
Oh, well, you did. You were talking over the music, and I have to think about the
Of
integrity of the
course.
podcast.
Oh yeah, the
Perfect
integrity
intro.
of the pod. Remember, we are a facts first podcast here at GameHounds.
Damn right. We are
Oh,
all
hey.
about quality.
Oh, AI viewers, streamaboo.com.
That's a perfect ending.
AI comment coming in at the last second.
Yeah. Everyone have a great week. Chaos, thanks for being here. Nick, thanks for being here. And I gotta go call my tax preparer because my taxes still aren't done, and he has more questions. Yay! I love talking to him. Doesn't give me panic attacks at all. Nope. Sure
Have a
doesn't.
Steam Deck with Windrose in the background.
Right
Thank-
here.
Uh-huh.
I've got it.
Thanks for letting me join, much to your displeasure.
Oh, that's not true.
No.
I love having you on.
Yeah,
It's
it's
always
just
a
not 3
pleasure.
hours.
Yeah, but whenever you can be on, we love. I miss you when you're not here. Let's just say, and you make it a better show, and you are my friend, and I miss you when you're not here.
Yes. I will try to show up more often. I shouldn't be working as much now.
Good. All right,
Cool.
Nick, Chaos. We'll see you later. Bye, everyone.
Later.
Bye.